up, everybody? Cheers, cheers, cheers. Happy Wednesday. Happy Chill Wednesday. That's what today is. There ain't shit going on. Look at this. Cheers to everybody. Look at everyone on the stream. This is great. So some people talk about chicken nuggets. I think someone's bringing chicken nuggets later, so that's pretty sick. Happy to see that. Hope everyone's having a good week. There's not much to report on GameStop, right? like the past couple of streams, the same shit over and over again. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to add, right? Except the low volume persists. I mean, I don't even remember what it closed on Monday, but it's done nothing. The market's been all over the place, right? I mean, I've been seeing some of that stuff where it sold off suddenly yesterday, following some of Trump's tweets, and then it popped up today. What did it do today? It was up quite a bit today, wasn't it? Yeah, look at this, 2%. I saw people talking about the Russell 2000 potentially. Maybe on the verge of outperforming, and maybe in a big way. It's so early that you can't know these things. But it's like people talking about it as we've been talking about it on the stream a bit, just something to keep your eye on. And but if it starts outperforming, that, like we said, that could be a little bit of a tailwind for GameStop in time, right? That stuff takes time. That's one of those like multi-year potential tailwinds that most people just discount. But like I've seen it happen in big ways in the past. Most notably, maybe like 2013 was a big one, and like 2016. So anyway, if that starts happening, that's another potential tailwind. But that's like it's to a bit marginal. But even still, you can see stocks double and triple and even quadruple at times like that. On that alone, it's just the value will remain latent, or the perceived value remains latent, and then all of a sudden it becomes in favor. So who knows? That's something I'm maybe keeping an eye on. It's really I'm trying to come up with stuff now. Just kidding. But that low volume has continued. I mean, today it closed below 4. Oh yeah, so Monday it closed below 3. That was really low. Even still, it continues to go on, which I view as good news. Let's just see what happens. Holds this level and stuff, and charts looking constructive, and I think everyone's just maybe waiting for news. Justifiably so to a degree, but I still think that there's still quite a bit of value here that hasn't been recognized by the market. So, but even still, I can understand at least some folks will be like, wait and see. Let's at least see what's going on with Cohen and stuff. So I kind of get it. But even still, from the longer term, the bullish outlook, I think, this is great. We get a breather, huh? We can kick back, have a couple beers, maybe for a couple weeks. I mean, we shouldn't even be surprised if it stays flat for a number of weeks, even going into earnings. I mean, it's conceivable. Not that a stock price needs, not that the market needs news. Prices rise on no news all the time. They fall on no news all the time. Like the market's kind of just pricing inevitable outcomes in earlier rather than later. You don't have to wait for news, but there may be no like big GameStop news until earnings, which is 2 months away. So be prepared just in case. Like I say, the longer term GameStop investors, we know. September was the weird one. Cheers, everybody. What do we got? Okay, so Uber. Okay, Uber. He'll be a little bit late, but he said he had talked with the GameStop folks today. So okay, I'll be interested to see that. He was talking about that on Monday. How he'll be having a chat with them. He might have some new information, so that would be good. Eduardo's asking, what nugget? I like to, so that's where the chicken nuggets came from. Okay, sick. Cheers, Daily. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Hugo, Polygon, Eduardo, Uber. Welcome. Transient Bit, welcome, Transient Bit. Cheers. What's up? Hugo's laughing. Hugo's calling this drug music. He's rolling the floor live and calling it drug music. Cheers, Hugo. Cheers. All right. Polygon's asking question: does the rapidly bloating size of games help or hurt physical? Yeah, we've been talking about that a little bit, right? The rapidly bloating size of games. I think many folks here would say that it tends to help physical because there's just the storage space. You know what I mean? So I think we lean toward. Oh yeah, there was a couple of things that some people had tossed out to me on Twitter that I didn't get a chance to respond. Oh yeah, so Trey Daniel, he had asked about. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to respond to this. I apologize, but Trey, there's not much in this article. Value Engine. I don't even know what Value Engine is, but this article itself it looks like it was just written by a bot. Like I don't know if there's anything here. And is this who is it? Is Ascendient Capital Markets? Is that you know what? I didn't even get a chance to Google that. Is that even a real analyst? Oh, it looks like it might be. So it was that, but the upgrade from like $3 to $4, I didn't even dig into it. But when the article itself looks like this, so it looks like a beep boop boop boop, like a beep boop boop boop. Put it together, I'm like, all right. I kind of just keep on moving. And Value Engine, I don't know what that is. Nothing prominent. I know that much. And then who else? Someone said, oh yeah, and then Gabriel asked this, which was a good point. I said in just 5 weeks, GME will benefit. And Gabriel was saying, well, why 5 weeks? The party's already been. Yeah, that's true. There's like, well, that's true. Maybe they're already benefiting to a degree. They'll benefit maybe even more so, especially in the eyes of investors in 5 weeks. But good point, Gabriel. Good point. Good point. And then what was the other one? And then Jen. Oh yeah, Jen tagged me. And what was this? Oh yeah. So this Twitter account was talking about. The profiles of gamers, right? We talked about the power-up rewards, how that's a really valuable data point. It's data that GameStop has, and so this account here was trumpeting that. Something we've talked about, right, on the stream quite a bit. The millions of power-up rewards members. This person here is describing GameStop as a tech company. You imagine GameStop starts being valued as a tech company with tremendous growth potential? I can't even imagine that, but. That's what I mean. There's a case of maybe most people would roll their eyes when they hear that. I can understand that. But nevertheless, this was what has made GameStop a bit of a unique cigar butt that most traditional cigar butts, pretty much all of them, don't have this kind of a unique setup. But so an interesting take. So Jen, thanks for pointing that out. But indeed, I assume some other retailers have been building out there. They have their own DBs of their customers who shop there and stuff. But still, GameStop dedicated to gaming, and it's an industry that's kicking ass. So it's a point worth bringing up. You know what I mean? Because it kind of gets. Like I talk about how it's good for some folks to be picking up on different aspects of the thesis, because I think most people just overlook this type of stuff and they just say, brick and mortar retailer, a cigar, blah, 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 and then that's it. But it's like, hey, heads up. Here's one way it's a little bit different. Here's another way it's a little bit different. And then what happens slowly, this bull thesis, it gets pieced together in the minds of others. For some people, it takes a bit of time. But so things like this is good to point out. Jen, thanks for giving me a heads up on that. Is there anything else? There was really nothing else. Oh, what did the market do today? On the chart. Chart is looking right there. Okay, just curious. What do we got? Steve's Donk is back. Welcome back, Steve. Welcome back. I think it's been a while. Welcome back on the stream, George. Cheers, George. Cheers. Oh, we're talking nuggets. George ate the new spiced chicken nuggets. Is there a coincidence? I think not. Cheers to that, George. Oh, Polygon saying, I'm pretty sure there's no such thing as a 250 gigabyte Blu-ray. Yeah, so the size constraints. And that was one of the, I think I tweeted about that recently, didn't I? What was I saying? Or CVC, yeah, someone did on Twitter. Oh, I included in like the thumbnail. Oh, I included in the thumbnail for this, or the last stream, that, remember Call of Duty, like, doesn't even fit on, it doesn't even fit. You can download it in pieces and stuff, but even still, it's like kind of alarming. It's like, what? How do you have a popular game where the whole thing doesn't fit? It's just kind of it takes you back a little bit. Like, what the hell? What's going on here? So I think that's why I think these physical discs might persist a bit longer than people are being priced in. That's really it. That's the gist of the thesis, is that it's just going to stick around for a bit longer, and things like larger games, I think, contribute to that. Oh, I did. People were talking about First Solar. I saw that it was up 4.6% over. I did see that it was up a bit. I did notice that because people were talking about that on the stream. Oh, look at this. No wonder people would talk about. Look at this, huh? But what's funny is that, what is that? $60? It's like, I think about, like, it's up. It's up smartly in a couple of weeks here, but it's up. What is it? 30%, 33%? It's just up there. But so, notable for sure. But what does it do from here? You know what I mean? And so everyone has their own particular style of investing. But this smart run up is kind of interesting. I'd be curious about people's takes here if you want to give me a heads up. I did see, what was it? Solar generally, right? Excuse me. Yeah, so First Solar is just following the solar trend. This is the solar ETF, TAN. And so solar's been kind of taking off. I saw natural gas has been taking off too. Wait, is the natural gas price itself? No, natural gas has been flat, but natural gas stocks using RRC as a proxy, which of course, there's some natural gas stocks in the Roaring Kitty portfolio. I did notice some green. Where is it? But notably, yeah, look at all this green, huh? It's been green for a couple of streams in a row, which is, good news for the Roaring Kitty portfolio, but like lots of green, but like 12% on RRC today. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty big. And the chart was kind of bouncing back. So is it maybe energy generally, and what oil do? Not much. It's kind of just bobbing around that $40 range, huh? Not much. But I did notice that. Eisenhall, cheers from Germany. Cheers to Germany. Happy Oktoberfest. Although I don't think Oktoberfest is happening this year, but happy Oktoberfest nevertheless. I'll have to get some Oktoberfest beers. I haven't got any yet. We did get our first shipyard. We got that, but I need some Oktoberfest beers. Cheers from Germany. Sick. All right. Okay, who else we got? George, GameStop is still at the $9. George is pointing out how GameStop's still at 9, and it's not even console season yet. It's going to be a dang Christmas, yeah. Yeah, on the low volume, it's sticking around 9. It's good news, you know what I mean? Like it could have. I've been invested in stocks where things quiet down, the hoopla. No one's talking about. I mean, people are still talking about GameStop, but things settle down, and the price just like settles down. It keeps heading south. And but GameStop's kind of holding, which is all else equal is good. I mean, it'd be great if it were holding at 15 too. It's the same. Hey, cheers, based. Well, I don't know what that is. Okay, so Hugo's saying, yeah, I think it helps a lot because people would prefer physical consoles and even the digital consoles to have the external disc. Yeah, still quite a bit of interest in the physical for sure. Okay, GME EVs when? Yeah, people were talking about EVs. EVs in favor these days. And then I saw people talking about, why are we talking about that? The overstock when they had that like digital coin or something like that. People talking about that maybe for GameStop or something. I was having a laugh at that. Fuchs, how does Microsoft not have more data than GME? Well, they may very well have more data than GME, especially as it pertains to Xbox, of course, right? They may not have some of the Sony related data, but Microsoft's like so much, like they're all over the place that who knows, they could have tremendous amount of data. Hello Karate Kitty. Hello Fuchs. Foxed is blue. I'm purple. Thank you. I was definitely having some trouble with that on past streams. I'm like, wait a second. Who is this? Who am I responding to? So thanks for the heads up. Hugo, potatoes. Yeah, exactly, Hugo. Tomatoes, it's all the same person. I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. What's good, Makeshift? Welcome back. Nice to see you again, Makeshift. Sick. Yep, first solo was up a bunch. My portfolio averaged. Oh, okay, so Polygon, are you like you got a value tilt in your portfolio? Because like the Roaring Kitty portfolio naturally does. And so it's been a number of green days recently. Just look at all these, like so much green, you know what I mean? What happens is like if you're tilted in one particular investment style, right? You kind of get a feel for what's becoming in favor. So I can kind of tell, hey, the value's coming back in favor. Sick. And then if we come over here, I mean, you're going to see was oil up 6% today? Is that right? That doesn't seem right, does it? That was yesterday, wasn't it? Seems high. Whatever. But you can see some of the other. Oh, where's the value style? Hey, there you go. Value style. S&P 400 value. Boom. Up 3. It was the only on this. Whatever the hell this I got in here. Oh, but then the S&P 400 growth is up to green too. So what the hell do I know? But a bunch of green across all across the board. I bought the one thing. Pretty hard. Cheyenne. Okay, what do you think of the recent closes for GameStop? Always selling off last hour or so. Don't look into that too much. Cheyenne, I don't look into that too much. That would be I recommend. I mean, for starters, because I don't even know what that means, just to be clear. But I've noted these things over the years, and then you start going down these paths, and you start overthinking stuff too much. It depends on your investment style, though, right? Like if you're that short-term day trading type, which obviously, hopefully you know by now, this channel isn't about that. I mean, that stuff may be meaningful to you, but for my investment style, and perhaps yours as well, that stuff, who cares? I mean, there's not you don't want to read into that stuff too much. There's market makers making small trades back and forth here and there, trying to. I mean, when you're looking at these incremental time slots too, it's like more liquidity things too. I wouldn't look into that stuff too much. But again, if you have a different investment style, that stuff could be meaningful, but not for my style. It's all noise for me. And I mean, that's a good thing because then I can focus on what I consider the more important things. But that's what I'd recommend. So if you have a longer term time horizon, I wouldn't. It's whatever. And maybe a couple weeks ago, it was getting bid up in the morning and then coming back. I mean, I check it out, but I don't know what the takeaway is, so I don't think about it too much. Sometimes it's just better it's just, hey, where did it end the day? You know what I mean? And GameStop's effectively been flat. I don't even know what it's been doing every single day, right? I see it kind of bouncing all over, but importantly, it's just been flat. It's in that low 9s the whole time. Polygon, I kind of miss March in a way. Imagine chat. So I said that, Polygon. I feel bad. I wish we were live streaming at that time back in March and April because it would have been, it would have been educational, right? But we would have been able to share research. It would have been a lot of moving parts and stuff like that. It would have been longer streams for sure. So I feel the same way, Polygon. So Polygon, a lot of stock. Oh, because I was asking Polygon what his breakdown is. A lot of stocks and would be too richly valued for the Roaring Kitty portfolio. Nvidia, Microsoft. Yeah, that probably is. I think so. Okay, but you were still up today. Interesting. Well, I saw the S&P 400 growth was up. So, oh, were they not? Were they just not updated? Oh, maybe they weren't updated. Oh, I don't know. Looks like they just got updated right now, so I don't know. Polygon-like balance sheets. Yep, growth. Okay, yeah, did a little bit of a different style. Hugo. Yeah, I tend to skew more. Hey, well, I've done this before. I do tend to like more small caps for sure. I feel as though there's more asymmetry in mispricings that happen in the small cap. Sorry for scrolling. Come on. There we go. So if we look at these, you can see the market caps in this column right here. This is kind of sick. So it's all conditional format and stuff. And definitely some of the larger. My conditional format. I meant to look into that. Why it's not working across? Who cares? Maybe if I just refresh the whole page, whatever. But you can see some of the larger market caps. But even if you scroll down, I definitely have a type, as I say in one of my investment style videos. If you want to know more about my investment style, check out those other videos. But I definitely have a type. And you can see they tend to be on the smaller side. And like you pointed out, Polygon, I think some of your ones that you're interested, they probably don't fit my criteria. Doesn't mean that they're not good picks. You know what I mean? What the hell do I know? Maybe some of those have been tremendous picks over the past couple of years. Jen, late to the party, but never. Cheers, Jen. Cheers, Jen. We actually just looked into that tweet they sent over to me. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, you were talking about RTX last stream and how it was too big for me. Well, I'm glad. See, now we're all starting to get a feel for my type, which is good. But you all have types too, and I know there's some folks in the chat who also have the types of picks that wouldn't be in the Roaring Kitty portfolio, but some of you share views, and that's great. Everyone has a style, no hard feelings. Cheers, Polygon. Cheers to that, right? That's what I try to make clear too. It's like, I'm happy, Polygon, that you're even tuning in for the stream, huh? Cheers, because even if we don't have quite the same style of investing, maybe you're still in here, you're sharing your thoughts with other folks. I think that's great. And that's what I talk about, especially with GME bears, right? Because we're talking about GameStop so much, but even different styles, because I have a particular style that I've kind of honed over the years, but I keep an open mind. I'm trying to build out my skill sets as I recommend many other investors do too, like technical analysis. I'm only really a couple years into incorporating that into my style, and then I'm always trying to pick up stuff. So I was talking to someone recently too about how I expect over time to have more of how Buffett maybe started in like the deep value stocks. We talked about that last stream, and then pivoted to more of the compounding type. I could see myself doing that over time, but it all depends on what you're shooting for at that time. People evolve, that's cool, but then like sharing different views and different styles can help inform that over time. I just realized ARK Invest is buying the stocks I have, so I think I have the same strategy than them. Hugo, yeah, I'm starting to get a feel for Hugo stocks too. He's been doubling down on some of the stocks he's been talking about during the stream. I made a note of that. Faux show. Yeah, Polygon. We all hold one thing though, GME. Ain't that the truth, right? That's what I'm saying. See, some of the styles can overlap too, which can be good because you got people coming at it from different angles. That's why I've been talking about. I've been thinking, although to be honest, I haven't seen too many. Like I've been thinking that when this GameStop chart, I think looks great. I know this is only like the 1 year chart, but even if you do the 1.5 year chart, like I think this chart looks good. And I kept on thinking that like technical analysts were gonna be talking about it more and more, but I haven't seen as many people talking about it as I thought. For better or worse, I don't know if that's good news, bad news. I don't know. Like this strikes me as like objectively bullish. Maybe people are weighed down by their prior opinions of GameStop, or the longer term chart is still weighing on them. I mean, and then you look at a chart like this, and you can at least kind of understand why it's kind of weighing. Oh, shit. Look at that. Uh-oh. Are we not broke? Oh, look at this. I've been kind of doing this because I thought that little blip, but hey, maybe some people are doing that. You know what I mean? Where's Jordan? Huh? Jordan will laugh at that. I don't know. But anyway, talk about different styles, and then people overlap, right? You got technical analysts who don't care about the fundamentals, then they're piling in. But anyway, to your point, Polygon, even if not everyone's a deep value style, but they're a different style, and yet they still see value in GameStop. That's interesting to me. In fact, Polygon, what the hell are you doing investing in GameStop? Polygon, based on these other picks you shared, now I kind of need to understand. Well, what's your take on GameStop? How did that come across yours? Okay. I'm worried about a Tesla pop. Oh yeah, what's Tesla doing, huh? I haven't seen too much Bitcoin, so doesn't this kind of look like? Oh, this chart's kind of interesting, huh? What's it gonna do next, huh? What's it gonna do next? Boom, 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 boom. Little pinball action here. A little bit of a flag. It's gonna break out to the top. I don't know. Chart still looks bullish. I'll tell you that. You're worried. Okay. Company Tesla pop would wreck. Oh yeah, what the hell's ARK? What are y'all talking about? I thought it is the innovation ETF. Yeah, Jen was talking about that on the last stream. Oh, is Tesla a big component of that? Oh, the guy. Oh shit! I didn't realize that. It's 10%. It's 11%. Interesting. Wow. Huh? Because I've heard them describing this though. They say they're not a car company. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. Look at this. Look at these stocks, huh? And this has been crushing it, right? Important level. Somewhat important level. Wow, interesting. I've been hearing people have been talking about this a bit more on the stream. Yep, Hugo. Oh, Hugo's loving BYDDF. Yep. I gotta see that one more time. Looking good, Hugo. Makeshift. I think people don't know how to value Tesla. Well, that's damn sure, right? I mean, but I know plans increase in price. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't think anyone has had it's been so difficult to have an accurate valuation of a stock like that. I mean, it's nearly impossible, right? And yet the stock keeps going up. You know what I mean? Like in one of those videos where I'm talking about my investment style, I'll talk about how valuation is only one component, right? Tesla's, I suppose, a great example of that because, I mean, it's almost impossible to come to an accurate valuation. Just forget about it. And market don't care. You know what I mean? Market don't give a shit. It's fascinating. Oh, okay. Polygon. Found it through a forum. And I dug into it. Then I watched your videos and said, F it and went in. All right. Cheers to that, Polygon. All right. Look, we could... we didn't convert your Polygon, but we got you interested in a value stock, even though you focused on stronger balance sheet. Well, I think GameStop has a relatively strong balance sheet. Some folks don't. And I know you mentioned like strong balance sheets and then growth potential. What did you say? One more? What the hell was the other one? In secular tailwinds. Okay? GameStop kind of fits that, Polygon. I can see that. Sick. The bull argument is strong and the short interest is mindlessly high. All right. I like your thesis, Polygon. Very simple and to the point. Sometimes the best theses, they're so simple. NIO is actually a pretty interesting pick. I've seen NIO. That one's really taken off. EV. We talking on EV again? Yep. Oh, that chart looks crazy, huh? Wow. Jeez. That's a 10-bagger from the lows? Jeez. I don't know much about it. I just heard a lot of people talking about it as part of this. I mean, it's this whole EV angle, right? I mean, these ones are tough to value. These aren't, I mean, from a technical standpoint, this kind of look bullish right here. You know what I mean? Like buying it on those 11s. Oh, and then it's doubled from there. Oh, this was March and April. Whoa, this was July? Oh, damn. That was kind of a buying opportunity. For someone like me, like I might have taken, if I was paying attention, it's hard to keep up with so many stocks. But then you see a breakout like this, and there's a lot. I mean, I've briefly looked into NIO, not a deep dive or anything like that. I remember thinking, whoa, that looks, sometimes I kind of like the ones that are really tough to value. I've talked about that before. Sometimes I like the ones that are tough to value because I know it's tough to value for other folks too. And then we talked about the blind leading the blind, right? Like no one really knows and everyone's just like, what's going on here? And at times like that, that's where I'll lean more heavily on technical analysis and I'll buy based on that and kind of just follow the chart. But NIO would never be a big position. It would be like a Tesla position or a Bitcoin position where I'm like, this chart kind of looks interesting. But this chart, based on, and then the whole EV, I kind of like the psychology angle of it too. Same thing for Bitcoin where there's like a lot of bulls out there or a lot of passionate bulls. So it seems to me, and I think, all right, that can kind of get people's attention. It can kind of take off. I mean, even still, this chart still looks bullish. Here would have been the time that maybe. I mean, they call it. It's not really robust analysis. You don't need to tell me that. I know that, but I try to keep my universe broad. You know. I think stock has to have a good argument right now. Yep, some people thinking about that. Rod Alsman, mindlessly, beep boop 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 boop. Yeah, I know, right? The short. Well, again, I'd say I now broken record. I know that there's a legitimate short thesis against game. I know some people maybe don't agree with that, but I think there is. But I don't like the 140% short interest is absurd to me. That doesn't make any sense. But but even still, like I say it's legitimate, but I just mean look it out 3 or 4 or 5 years. That doesn't mean it could make sense to hold the short position that whole long. But maybe if you can hedge in such a way that it can still be profitable over time. I have no idea. But this level of short interest, I agree with you. It kind of seems like beep boop boop. Or if there are rational humans, we talked about that. that there's still a case to be made if they're a rational human-led institutions managing it. We could still understand why it got there, but it still kind of seems. I mean, you still gotta do the beep bop boop jokes. You got to. Oh, okay. I don't know, DD. I don't know that one, Hugo. Simon, what's up, Simon? Cheers. The market is up. Oh, yeah, what are futures doing? Out of curiosity. I mean, that's something I'll check in. Like a day like today, like this week, sometimes I'll check a little bit. Hey, it's noise. Don't get me wrong, right? But, we just use this. Oh, it's flat. Nah, that's flat. I need at least like 0.5% to... But that's flat right now, and it'll be green. It'll be up 1% night before, and then it's down 1%. I see that so much. Oh, my bad, Polygon. Sometimes I like some jokes, but sometimes these jokes go over it. Sometimes this headband is tied too tight, Polygon. The Polygon it's tied too tight, and the jokes they go right through me. Yeah, I'm in the USA, Eisenhall. I'm in the USA. So cheers to Germany from here. Oh yeah, aren't there VP debates tonight? I think I heard that there were VP debates tonight. Debates, yeah. Where are those, Hugo? Oh, man, Hugo, you all about that, huh? Hugo, Sharon said, hey, good job getting that. How'd you get that? Yeah, how do we figure out TM? I was just about to say that. Because that looks like I just copied and pasted that directly, and that link copied just fine. It looks like you didn't even do anything weird to it, Hugo. Sick. That worked for me. Cheers, TM, huh? Cheers. I didn't see you in there. Rookie numbers. TM. Whoa, hey there. We got, see, I don't think Trey's here, so TM, step it up. Thank you, TM. Thank you. Oh, that's funny. Okay, look at this. 7:30. Woo-hoo, sir. I know, did Trey change your name? Jen said the same thing. Oh, so Polygon doesn't see Hugo's link. So I do. So for what it's worth, Polygon, I do see Hugo's link. That's interesting. No, I looked into this, Polygon. Check it. I looked into this. I can't. Watch this. If y'all know something about, check this out. I don't see it either. So check this out. If you go down to the bottom, message limitations. This is on Google YouTube Help. I went here and it says like this: viewers cannot post special characters URLs. Because someone said that. They said, oh, you can just change a setting. But I looked into it. I couldn't find out how to do it. If I'm missing something, let me know. Oh, maybe because you're on mobile? Yeah, I wouldn't think it would affect it, but people... I like that, Polygon. So anyway, I apologize for that. We do need to be able to share links. So I can see Hugo, so I don't know what's up with that. But I guess TM can see it too. Sick. All right. So ARC, huh? What's the longer term chart look like for ARC? Man, I've seen that. It's been popping up a lot. I don't think this is... Oh, this is in my... We talked about this. This is in the... Roaring Kitty looks Korean to me. Do I look... I can see that. I look a little Korean. I had it in here, right? The innovation ETF. Yeah, so I had it in there, but I hadn't been that much dialed into it. So this is kind of a smart move. I hadn't seen that. What's the longer term chart look like? I don't know. Now everyone's talking about it. You got me. Damn. There we go. Oh, that chart looked good too. See what I mean? Look at this. It's up 50%, but that's like an ETF. You know what I mean? That's something. Damn. Crouching Tiger, Roaring Kitty. Oh, I like that, Polygon. Holy shit. Crouching Tiger, Roaring Kitty. Oh, didn't I have a tiger shirt on the other night? Oh, that would have worked perfect. We'll rewind. We'll rewind, Polygon. Damn, that chart's something to behold. You know what I mean? So you see stuff like this. So this is a innovation ETF, and you know that innovation, growth type stuff has been in favor for a number of years now. So what I mean, like, this is kind of a nice retest of the lows. So I'm a value investor, right? But like, this is why it can be good to diversify your styles. What's in your portfolio? Like, and I like something like this. This would have been a good addition even to the Roaring Kitty portfolio in a time like March and April where it's going crazy and you don't know what's going to outperform best, because this is tremendous. Well, it's not quite a triple. From the true lows, it's pretty close. But damn, that looks good, huh? This would have been a good ETF too. I was talking about growth stuff, but boy, this would have been a real good. This would have covered what I wanted to do, maybe a bit better than the individual stocks. Wow. I'm glad it's in there now. But I didn't really have it in risk. It would have been a nice one to have in risk. Whoa, Freeport, what's up? Oh, Oh, it's back up to 17. All right, something's popping back up. We gotta see what happens here on out. I mean, they're bouncing back and stuff. Isn't it funny? Like people were talking about last week. We talked about this on Monday too. How people were getting a little bit nervous, market crash and all that, and what's gonna happen. And good questions. I'm not saying that they were unfounded or anything like that, but it's just how sentiment is kind of turned a week later. Not just people talking, but even in stock price and stuff. You see stuff kind of bounce back kind of smartly over the past week. It's kind of interesting to me. At times when people, I mean, how do you gauge that stuff? It's tough, but it could be good times to add to your position and trim when it's feeling a little bit frothy. You know what I mean? Even I'm trying to get a little bit better about that. Was oil up that much? It doesn't seem right to me. I feel like that was yesterday. Maybe. Burn Kitty looks like Rambo. He just needs an AK-40. Does I look like Rambo? Yeah, maybe. You know what, man? It's been a while since Rambo was on TV like a couple months back, and I don't remember. I haven't seen it in so long. I don't even know. I don't remember watching the whole thing, but I remember watching the beginning. I'm like, damn, this movie needs a rewatch. But it doesn't have like he was having like flashback at the beginning. I just caught some of the beginning. Oh man. Oh, and I just posted. I just posted on Twitter. Does anyone even know Home Improvement? Does anyone know what Home Improvement is? Oh, speaking of that, look at. So I came across I don't even know what this is. If we got some younger folks on here, I came across this PDF, an infographic, but it's like I think is it geared toward teens? Yeah, it's like a teen survey or something. I don't know how reliable this is, but I found it kind of interesting to look through, like some of the top brands. If y'all disagree or agree with some of the stuff, I'd be curious. I mean, maybe we're a bit older than this, right? But even I was like, yep, yeah, Chick-fil-A's pretty popular among folks. Some of these things I don't even know, but if some of it I'm like, oh, it's kind of interesting. Like the top celebrities, Adam Sandler still top 5. That's sick. Adam Sandler. You don't see PewDiePie? Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be at a top influencers. Yeah, you think he'd be there, huh? Even I know him. You see Charlie TikTok. We got some TikTok stars on there. Dobrik too. Market is an ETF full of things that are opposite of value, like Tesla and Twitter, Polygon. Yeah. So that's what I'm picking up. That's what I'm gathering. I think that's why I would have liked it back in March and April. Less so now, although the chart does look a little bit interesting. But that's why I would have liked it to round out the Roaring Kitty portfolio back in the day. I was kind of looking. So there's many ways you can diversify and manage risk, and one of those ways you can manage risk is diversification, right? But not just diversification of the individual picks, but also diversification of styles and strategies and so forth. We talked about that a bit, and so like even though if you're value focused at the time, I'm like, oh, maybe I need a little bit less value and I need some other stuff just in case. I don't know what's going to happen with the market. This is crazy what's going on, and I was like looking for the opposite of value to kind of balance out some of the risks that were in the portfolio, and as it worked out, it worked out fine. But looking back, I talked about that in one of the videos. I kind of wish I had switched it up a bit. Not switched it up a bit, just had added some other non-value ones. Roaring Kitty hitting euphoria over graphs. Look at this graph. That sounds about right. Folks. It did just pop like mad, though. Yeah, ARK, yep. Blessed Spear, welcome, Blessed. ARK will get pummeled in an actual downturn. Decent companies, but multiples are literally infinity. So for what it's worth, Blessed, sometimes value stocks get crushed too. I mean, sometimes they can get crushed in a downturn. What some people have been talking about, and we've been picking up a bit too, that rotation out of things like ARK, out of tech and growth and into value, that tends to happen sometimes. I mean, people have been talking about that shit for years now, and it hasn't really come to fruition. In fact, if you look at some of these, what would be a good, if we do a QQQ versus IWM, right? Would that be a good one? So we do QQQ versus IWM. So here you go. So here's QQQ crushing the Russell 2000 for 10 years. You know what I mean? So it's been weighing on a lot of people. I know when people talk about value underperforming, they talk about shit like this. But I still think there's been pockets of value that you could have done well. But when they talk about value underperforming, they talk about shit like this. And you can see QQQ losing. So who just mentioned this? Blessed. So if you check it, here's a 40-year monthly chart of QQQ, which just so happened to come out right near the peak, right near the tech bubble, and then it got crushed. This is versus the Russell 2000, which is a decent proxy for like smaller cap and value type stocks. It's good enough for this purpose, what I'm showing. So you see QQQ get crushed. Right, naturally, right, because the techs were so frothy, and this is kind of what Blessed's getting at, is that if something like this happens, there's this major rotation out of the frothier type things and into something else, like In this case, Russell 2000, value stock, small cap stock, whatever the hell it is. And then you see it get crushed. It can get crushed. But I point this out. Look how long this has gone on, where QQQ has outperformed IWM. This has gone on for a long time. So a caveat emptor, where you'd say, hey, buyer beware of like the relative purchase here of small cap or value, that this shit can go on for a long time. Now, some people are saying now, hey, this is getting way overbought here, right? And this is a good point. Like this is super overbought, but what if it comes back down and then goes right back up again? It can go crazy. You know, these things are hard to predict. And so, Blessed, your point would have been accurate. This, I'd like to point this stuff out. Your point would have been accurate, maybe roughly accurate, or like in this area too. And there was a little bit of a sell-off, and then boom, 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 boom. And then you might have said, oh, this is really starting to look frothy, right? And at the beginning of this year, and then there was, like, I was thinking March and April was a great time for this rotation to happen. And that's kind of the reason too. I'm like, I'll still go value, because I think this could be a good catalyst. Like it awakens people to the fact that that some of these valuations might be stretched. Some of these things are tough to value this in this tech world, but they do seem a little bit stretched in areas. But I'm not in that camp that think it's like, I don't know. That's tough analysis for me. But even still, and then look at the past 6 months, boom, 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 and maybe this is the peak. We may look back on the stream and be like, yo, that was the peak. Look at how crazy overbought it was. This is the monthly too. This is meaningful. This is the monthly chart. So is this through it's into October so far, so this could be it. And so, but anyway, but value can sell off at times too. And like if it was a huge broad market sell off, I was just giving you now I'm going off on a tangent. I get that, but I think about this stuff, Blessed, just like you're tossing that out. Indeed, if there's the rotation though, things like ARK, if you're getting something like this, then something like ARK would get crushed, and like I suspect like a Tesla would probably get crushed. Like the things that are really super in favor, especially for a number of years that have been a long-term bull market, you might get a rotation out of that. But those are bold predictions. They are. Sentiment turning, despite the thing that everyone's scared of still being in the future. Yep. Why are November VIX is so high? Yeah, VIX has been high for a while, huh? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to any of the VIX questions. It's relatively elevated. Can you do technical analysis on the VIX? I think some people do. Now that's kind of ridiculous. I think maybe there's something to it. I have no idea, but for me it gets a little bit beyond my scope of technical analysis. But boy, it's been elevated this whole year, right? We can kind of understand, right? The reason, my explanation for why the VIX is elevated is the same reason I have so many damn positions in the portfolio, in the Roy and Kitty portfolio, because hey, maybe that's it. As the VIX declines, maybe that'll be a good opportunity to reduce the number. Hey, Tim Sales at 29, sick. I didn't notice that. It's getting up there. That's a good looking chart, huh? Sorry, see me? I go all over the place. Adam Sandler. Okay, Adam Sandler still being top 5 just credits the graph. Is that true? Do you think it discredits it, Polygon? That's right. That one stood out to me. I'm like, is Adam Sandler still top 5? Like Adam Sandler was like top 5 for me. You know what I mean? LeBron James is impressive, but it still makes sense. The Rock. Yep, I get that one. Kevin Hart. Sure. Harry Styles top 5. Interesting. Top influencers. This list is probably perpetually changing, right? All the time. I don't even know some of the brands in here. Yeah, obviously TikTok's rising. Top brands. What was something that? I don't like. Top websites? I don't even know this one. Shein? I didn't even look into some of this stuff yet. I was gonna ask y'all. I'd be like, yo, are these real things? I don't know that one. There's a handful of them in there. I'm like, wait, what is this? I feel like I should know this. Fuchs, incidentally, this year is the year of hindsights. Longest bull market. Sure. Uh-oh. Steve calling me out. Frothy is such a CNBC catchphrase. Is it, Steve? Is that okay? Is that bad? Is that good? I've used it before. Hey, we toss out some synonyms for me. I'll keep it in mind about my term use, huh? Something frothy. It's what else would I say? I'd say it's frothy. It's stretched. I don't know what else I would say. It's bid up. I don't know. Frothy seems like to the point. Like, you knew what I was talking about, Steve. Central banks running out of options. Yeah, the macro angle. I'm not much. I follow that stuff, but I have like weekly held opinions about that stuff. I don't know. I'm sure. Yeah. Eisenhall. Is there a possibility that a second lockdown or an increase in COVID patients could hit the markets as hard as the first time? I doubt it. I doubt it would hit it as hard. I have no idea. As in all, I have no idea. But I don't think so, because I think what I think, and this is why March and April was such a major opportunity. And I'm fortunate that I kind of picked up on, like, there was we didn't really have any precedents for this. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. And we didn't, I mean, down 10% in a day, a handful down so much. Like, clearly the market was like, what is going on here? You really only have that maybe once in a lifetime where the market is like, this is unprecedented territory. I don't know what to do. Maybe not once in a lifetime. Something else could happen that kind of takes you by total surprise. And not to say that like a pandemic type thing people hadn't been talking about. I mean, Bill Gates was talking about it. It's something that we talked about, but the market didn't understand how to price it in. Even I was like, how long could this go on for? I thought it was I thought the market was overdoing it. Obviously, I was a heavy buyer in March, but even still, but I was being honest with myself. I'm like, shit, I don't really know. This shit could go on for a couple of years. What are the ramifications? Really, I was surprised. What surprised me was shutting down the economy. I was like, holy shit, I was taken aback, as many folks were, right? I know I'm not alone in that. But even, like, that was what was more challenging for me. I'm like, how the hell do you price this in? This can be real tough on an economy. Not that I'm an economist or anything like that, but I'm like, what's the impact on the fundamentals of these companies? Some balance sheets are going to take a hit. The assets on these are going to be discounted, and then who's going to be hit the hardest? Who's going to benefit from this? And but that major uncertainty, like shutting down it was even like it wasn't even a lot of people's radar that could happen, and what the impact would be on the fundamentals. But now it's like we at least have some idea as to how companies might be hit, how stocks might react, how the government will step in. At the time, we had no idea. We're like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to do enough? Are they not going to do enough? And are so many companies gonna? There's so much uncertainty. So Eisenhower, what I'm getting at is that there's definitely a possibility that there could be some COVID-related impacts on the market. There definitely could be. But I don't think, to answer your question, my personal opinion, which I encourage you to take with a grain of salt, is that it won't hit as hard as the first time, which probably would disappoint some investors, I think, if you're hoping for like a pullback and stuff. But I think that's not to say it couldn't happen, of course, right? Maybe something else, it happens alongside something else happening. You know what I mean? And then it's like there's a lot going on. It's not just that. Then it's a different story. But my base case is that you don't get something like that for that reason alone, that it'd have to be something else going on. But you might also, can't you just have a run-of-the-mill pullback on the market? I mean, sometimes that can happen too, but even still, I think that craziness Eisenhower that you saw in March and April, I don't think, that's not on my radar right now. I reserve the right to change my opinion. Again, and I think if something else comes up too, and something else has happened too, I'm like, oh shit, maybe. But it's really the shock, it's the panic. Especially, like I was saying, March 18th, the morning of March 18th, that was panic. You very rarely see, like, really, I said this in one of my videos when I was walking through the spreadsheet, my tools video where I was talking about the spreadsheet video. Like, you very rarely see true panic like that. It's the most I've seen in my career. And you need to be blindsided. The market needs to be blindsided and have all their, and I don't know that they're going to be blindsided based on this alone. But you never know. You never know. Okay. Oh, yeah. Talking about the stimulus package. Yep, Polygon trying to fix it right there. Pretty off topic. But what is the best video game you've ever... Hey, Cheyenne, okay. Pretty off topic. Well, what is the best video game you've ever played? Hey, that's perfectly on topic, yo. That's good to go. I'm curious about other people's take. I mean, I'm not a good... I'll share mine just because everyone else can share theirs too. But there's some folks on here who are definitely much more gamers than myself. I don't game as much these days. But, I kind of like the classics, right? For me, I mean, now I'm dating myself, right? Does anyone here, did they ever play Super Nintendo and N64? I mean, I get a bunch of favorites on those consoles. I don't know if those count anymore. As far as some of the more recent, I played some of the Xbox games. I really like the, what was it? Of those Call of Duty games. And people talked about this, how they were, the ones that I liked turned out to be, they were some of the better ones. But Modern Warfare 2 and, was it Black Ops? I thought those were good ones. But I'll be curious about what everyone else's favorite ones are, for sure. Oh, blessed. Maybe by downturn, I mean something else. A Dalio-esque global recession, credit crunch. Maybe I am too married to value investing. Maybe by downturn, I mean a Dalio-esque. Yeah, you could have a global recession. Yeah, so that's what I mean. That you might just have a run-of-the-mill sell-off because of the global economy struggling. Like that's, I mean, I don't know. Excuse me, Blessed. What are you talking about? What was your previous comment? Art gets pummeled in an actual downturn. Yeah. So sure. I can see that, Blessed. Absolutely, I can. But on a relative basis, that's my point. Does it get pummeled more than everything else? Indeed, it could have. I would lean toward that way, but like sometimes their performance has surprised me. Those types of things. But I get your point. Blessed, for sure. Maybe you're too married to value investing. Yeah, likewise. Same here. Global financial crisis 3 spear. Yeah. Okay, Hugo. Final Fantasy 6. I haven't even played Final Fantasy too much, and I know people love it. Polygon negative oil. Yep. Yeah, talk about people being surprised by. I mean, that was kind of the mechanics of the market, a little bit odd there, but indeed, who foresaw negative oil? You know, Fuchs, Dutcher, Dave was economist. Yep, not an economist. Nope. I have like I said, weekly held opinions on some of these these economics topics, but what the hell do I know? You know, that's why I always think like the bottom up style of investing is a bit easier. It's like a little bit easier to get a handle on certain individual companies and stocks and stuff. That's not to say the macro doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. It's just tougher to analyze those stuff, to analyze that stuff into to gauge how much they're really important. But I feel like bottom up investing is just a tad easier. That's my personal take. What was this? I think March was at least partially. Yeah, March was a bit like that. Yeah, in its own way. It was like its own unique financial crisis, right? That's why you saw though. I mean, you saw crazier. Is that true? I think you saw crazier volatility in March than I don't have proof of that though. I think you saw crazier volatility in March than you did back in 2008. I think it was a bit crazy. I thought it was going to take a little bit more time. I thought it was going to take weeks and months, and I mentioned this in that same tools video where I was talking about like what I was going through in March and how I was thinking through stuff. I thought I had more time. Not that I thought I had more time, and but then I realized I didn't have more time, and I had to do stuff immediately. And so within like a couple of days, I had to do all the research I was intending to do over weeks and months. Like I thought it was going to be more of a gradual, like if they shut down stuff and then it stays shut down for a while. I thought I was going to have more time, and then the market, it just happened so quickly. Look at this. It was like here, and I'm like, all right. And then it was going down so quickly, and then I didn't know you didn't know how much it was going to bounce back. But this is the thing. Valuations are a tell. So here's another reason why I'm bottom up focused, right? Because if you were tracking stocks, this is why I'm so big on tracking. So I was tracking a whole bunch of stocks. Then you're dialed into like approximately what a fair value is in a relatively normal market. You know what I mean? There was a case to be made that, hey, market dynamics were going to be different moving forward, blah, blah, blah. I thought about that. But I'm like, you know what? If the market stabilizes, if we like get control of this and the economy rebounds, I don't even care when it happens, then the prices that I'm seeing were absurd. And I could tell that because I was dialed into the stocks, but only because I was dialed into the stocks. Otherwise, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? But I had a good idea as to what roughly, just a range of what fair value was for, thousands of stocks. That I was really dialed in, I'd say hundreds of stocks, right? I mean, you saw 200 stocks in the portfolio, but I knew, I felt strongly that some of them were in the gutter and unreasonably so they didn't deserve it. So even though I was thinking it was going to take a while, right? But then when I saw the prices, I thought, well, shit, maybe it was going to take a while and whatever, but I didn't think it would have been really tough for some of those stocks I was tracking to fall another 50%, to fall another 90%. Like, I'm like, oh, it would have to be really, really bad for some of these to trade. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. I knew that. But I'm like, it would really have to be way, 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 way worse than many people are thinking to justify these prices, for them to fall another like 80% for some of the stocks that I was tracking. So that was my tell. And so then I'm like, and when I saw them hitting those prices, that was like, hey, wrong kitty. Like, you got to forget what you were thinking. Whatever your soft analysis was suggesting you that things were going to take time. You got to get moving. You got to go now. So that's where I was like, boom, 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 boom. And so valuations were a tell. They were a great tell. It's maybe one aspect of value that I'm sure plenty of folks have talked about. I don't even remember. I've read a lot of stuff on this topic, so I can't even remember like if other folks have talked about this. But for me, it was like a huge tell for me. I thought it was great, and it's so if you're not a value investor or you're not tracking stocks, that's something to consider. Anyway, why do I talk about that? Because you said it was kind of like the global financial crisis. Yeah, it was accelerated. You know what I mean? It was like it happened a lot quicker. This major sell-off, and I don't think people were prepared for that type of a thing. even I had been wishing I was more dialed into a wider number of stocks, so I had to do it as fast as I can. But what happens is, then what's good is that from an opportunity standpoint is that stocks are trading so damn cheap and there's so much widespread pessimism priced in that you don't have to do as thorough analysis as you often do. It's kind of like, what's the common phrase, like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like you could do pretty solid analysis on companies in 5 minutes and have a good, I'm not even joking, like you could do solid analysis and be like, yep, 5 minutes, that's a good enough stock. With the foundation of the thesis being, as long as the market normalizes in time. That's it. For many of my stocks, things were somewhat cheap, and I thought, hey, as long as it doesn't go like Great Depression era, which was a possibility. I'm not saying that wasn't possible. I knew that. I'm like, oh, this could be really painful if it does. But otherwise, I'm like, okay, then we could see through this. And so anyway, it just kind of, things happened much more quickly than they did back in 2008, which in some ways was more painful for folks. But for others, it was a little less painful because it was like ripping a Band-Aid. I was like, you got boom, everyone got knocked out in like a month. Was it a month? When was this? 2 months, say. 2 months. Everyone got their lights knocked out. Or 1 month. I mean, everything really happened in a month. You got knocked out, but then you got right back up again, you know? So that was kind of cool. All right. Oh, jumped on me. Okay. Polygon, I called the bottom. I actually called the bottom, but second guessed myself. Short. Yeah. A lot of people. Yeah, it's tough to call the bottom. Oftentimes with bottoms, it's not so. For what this worth, Polygon, you may know this. I'm just saying, it's a process, right? I'm not so much. I mean, I did happen to pull the trigger on a lot of stocks on March 23rd, which is kind of cool, right? But that's so much luck. But it's like there's still time, even if it bounces on you the 24th, the 25th. Like you can still keep buying on the way up, and then it's annoying if it falls back on you, but you can still keep averaging. So like as long as you can tell, like it's a bottoming process, you keep buying that whole time. Buy on the way down, as it's bottoming, as it's heading up. That's how I think about that. Jen. Oh, okay. So Jen, Duck Hunt. Sir, cheers to Duck Hunt. Wow, I haven't played that shit in a while. Gotta get that gun. Remember that red gun? The red and gray gun? That was sick. Whoa. That reminds me too of what do they got, those Buck Hunter games too? When you go to like a bar or something, they got those Buck Hunter games, those shit. That reminds me of Duck Hunt when I played that. I'm like, oh, this is sick. I used to go boo 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 boo. Nintendo 64, Mario World was the best game. Sick, Hugo. Sick. Super Mario Brothers. Yeah. That's the original. I agree. So like the Mario Brothers. So I was big on. No, now we gotta geek out on the old school classics. I'm glad some folks still play. Well, Duck Hunt, of course. Then you had Paperboy 2 on the original Nintendo, and then on like Super Nintendo, I love all the Super Mario Brothers games. I was all about the Mario games, and but Super Mario Brothers like 3. I even like Super Mario Brothers 2, which is different. Super Mario Brothers 1, and then remember like Yoshi's Island. There were like a whole bunch of different games and stuff. But Donkey Kong was sick. We were huge on Donkey Kong. All of them. It was like 3 or 4, I think. Was there a 4th one too? Love Donkey Kong. Mortal Kombat, all the Mortal Kombats, and then you got like Mortal Kombat Ultimate, which you could select any character. That was sick. And then for Nintendo 64, so you talk about Mario World, then you had Mario Kart, right? Mario Kart 64, and then GoldenEye. GoldenEye was sick. That was a classic. Dope. Super. Oh, Polygon, Kerbal Space Program and Hearts. Yeah, Polygon, was it you talking about Kerbal Space Program? I think it was you, and we looked it up. You were saying how that was a game. I did Google it after you talked about that. Hearts of Iron 3. I don't know that one. Kerbal Space Program. Yeah. I've heard some people talking about that. Besides you, Polygon. I think it was you. Halo 3 was one of the best games I played. I do like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Yep. I was big into Atari 2. I don't think I ever had the Atari somehow. I didn't. Halo 3. I didn't play Halo too much. I had a couple of friends who loved Halo, and they both thought they were the best at Halo. They were talking mad shit, and then they were so confident they could beat I mean, now this doesn't have anything to do with anything, but that's always my Halo story. That like they finally faced off against each other, and one of them kicked the ass of the other one. Anyway, it was kind of funny. But I know people were really passionate about Halo, especially some of those early ones, because people were really into them. Hugo, I think that Roy Kitty only plays Minesweeper. Yo, cheers to that joke. Oh shit. Oh damn, that's funny. I don't even. I think I know how to play Minesweeper now. I was one of those ones you learn by like experiencing it. Like on those, you had Minesweeper on those. It was one of the handful of games that were first on a PC when you bought it. But I actually I like the joke, Hugo. I played it a couple of times. I don't know. Oh shit, that's funny. Rogaine plays a smart Rogaine Robin. Yeah, Call of Kitty. Call of Kitty squeeze ops. Oh, let me make a note of that. I like that shit. Call of Kitty squeeze ops. I like that. Call of Kitty squeeze ops. Sick. What else we got? Rogan Kitty fam, let's go. Uber, welcome back, Uber. Cheers. We're talking just video games. How Uber left and Foxtain here, so we're just talking video games today. Ooh, I mean, there ain't no GameStop news. So we're just chilling. Blessed. Yes, I'm on the Spitznagel tail hedging train. That Armageddon is eventually coming. Question is when. Yep, the big question. I do know that style of investing, Spitznagel. And it's not just Spitznagel. It's there's a number of folks who do that tail hedging strategy, and you do the like that barbell approach too. It's not for me, but interesting. Thanks for sharing, Blessed. I'm somewhat familiar with that approach, the tail hedging strategy. I do have one. There's an ETF in here that I track. It's from who is it? From Cambria. It's called the ticker's tail. Wait, is it? It's got to be here. Or maybe it's lower. Oh damn! I definitely X'd out of something there by accident. There it is. Tail risk. Speaking of this, hey, Blessed, you ever seen this? Kind of interesting. So it's from Cambria. If you just Google Cambria tail risk and stuff, it kind of talks about, but it's like an options type strategy. It's kind of like a tail risk type. Excuse me, jeez, this bear's getting to me, huh? It's like it's an ETF that kind of there's not too many tail risk style ETFs, so I added this to the spreadsheet. But interesting. Thanks for sharing. So trick. Until then, isn't better to turn your brain off and go permeable. Yeah, exactly. Huh? $1 million question, Blessed. $1 million question. Bull call. Between now and 2030. Let's see what does Minesweeper bear for us. Oh wait, I fell a little bit behind here. Oh, let's find what Uber has for us. Oh, that went over my head. Okay, now I understand. Playing defensive and looking at the market is hard. Indeed, that's one way to, when you're managing your portfolio, you have to think about that, right? That what if you're bearish on this and it goes against you? Then what do? You know what I mean? You kind of want to have ideally, I mean, this is just kind of hedging and diversifying stuff. You kind of want to be happy no matter what happens. And I mean, if you're a value investor, I mean, I find I'll just invest in value, get my ass kicked by it, and then I'll just buy more of the same or diversify into the more attractive opportunities. It seems to work okay, but to each their own. You just want the German sentence in English. Oh, here we go. So Uber Sharon, Tekken. Oh, Cheyenne. Okay, Tekken. I played some Tekken, but I was more in the Mortal Kombat camp. But Tekken, I had some friends who were all about it. Yeah, but for some reason I didn't play. And then what it was? I didn't play, was Tekken on Super Nintendo too? I didn't have Sega. Was it more on Sega? Oh, no, I can't remember. It was definitely was it on Super Nintendo? I didn't have Sega. But I played, Sonic was sick. I remember playing at some of my friends' house. I used to love Sonic. Okay. Great show. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Uber. Okay, Uber sharing his notes. Great shareholder. Been a holder since April 2019. Boom. What? Whoa, okay, so Uber, we were just talking about that. What was the timing of his initial position? You know what I mean? Because we were trying to read into. This kind of supports the interested shareholder. Well, let me keep going, Uber. Clearly more than double down on his position. The notoriety of the name, the conversations that have been around seeing a future in gaming. Steven, I say your favorite boy, Steven. Cheers, sick. Steven's about Paperboy too. That shit, it was so basic. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That shit was dope. Back then, that shit was crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, now they've come a long way, but back in the day, come on, it was we needed that stuff. Ron Kitty, you should live stream your reactions to the debate. Someone was saying that like reactions, we should just do stuff just for the reaction stuff, huh? I don't have a TV down here right now. It's probably on TV, right? Did it already say start at 8? It's the VPs, right? Yeah, we could toss it on. Maybe I could probably get a live stream on the. You know how we watch the videos on here? We're doing analysis. Probably toss the debate up there. Okay, Uber. There's a huge demand. Okay, talk about the future of gaming. There's a huge demand for it. Very interested. We'll always take feedback from him. I'm not privy to the board of director conversations. But Ryan Cohen was gone from Chewy. When JK was brought in to the board. Yes. He was gone from Chewy. Trey, cheers, Trey. Welcome, Trey. We talked about you earlier. There's huge demand for it. Very interested. We'll always take feedback from him. I'm not privy to the board of directors conversations. Ryan Cohen was gone from Chewy. Sure. Okay. Look at Reggie, JK. Simon from all. We were looking to bring expertise in the transformation, and I do think they did a good job on that. Here we go. Trey, Halo Infinite will be pretty awesome. Too bad it got delayed. That's too bad. Okay. Yeah, talk about Halo. So is that going to be the newest one? Is that supposed to be 6? Sick. Oh, Steven, you played Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Mario 64, in Halo. Yeah. So the original Halo was sick too. Mario 64 was sick, right? I took my daughter to boy, when was it? To Target a while back. I mean, it was before everything hit, so this was months ago. But there was like a Mario, there was like a Mario stuffed Mario there, and I was trying to make the sounds from Mario 64. I was like, heep, whoop, woohoo! I mean, she's only 2, she doesn't know, but then she'll go around and she'll make those sounds too. What was some of the other things he said? I kind of forget right now. Oh shit, I said the other things too, but I can't remember. So she'd go around the house saying that. But yeah, Mario 64 is classic. Halo, yep, Halo was sick. Yeah, I know. Trey agrees. Yeah, let's be honest. No one really knows how to play Minesweeper. Whoo, thank you, Trey. Because I'm like, I think I kind of know how to play. I think I know what the numbers represent, but you never really learned it. You kind of just saw it was on the. I remember at the time I didn't know how to play Hearts too. I'm like, okay, Hearts, yeah, sick. I don't know what I'm doing. But I was kind of the same way with Minesweeper. I'm glad other people feel the same way. I strike you more as a solitaire kind of guy. Minesweeper solitaire. Oh shit, that's funny. About the chips challenge. I don't wait. Which chips challenge? I don't know that chips challenge. Is a top-down tile-based puzzle game originally published in. I don't know that game. Oh, it kind of looks like Minesweeper though. Quick check. Maybe, I don't know. I do like cards. I know that. Okay. Uber's trying to. We're talking video games. Uber's like, yo, I got some helpful information. You're gonna be. The bundles are what we do best. We attach more accessories 2 times, 3 times, as many games as general merchandise. Right, and that's big. On physical digital allocation, we'll sell both. Yep. They think the customer is going to lean toward the disc version. Yep, which we do too. Still think that's where the customer is going to skew. Okay, nice. I mean, we think a lot of this stuff too, but as I say, it's always good to hear it directly from a company or a management team and so forth. It kind of validates some opinions you might have. I mean, sometimes they're talking their book too, so it's not like you can only get it from them. But even still, all else equal, you want to hear it coming from you want to hear it coming from them. Yeah, he was talking to Yeah, Uber was talking to GameStop there. So, okay, Capital. Okay, Uber, this is terrific, by the way. Thank you for sharing, Uber. Cheers to Uber from all of us. This is great shit. Okay, we wanted to ensure we had capital. Top 2 are leaning into the cash balance to support anything from credit reinsurance markets being dry and then the debt pay down. All right, okay. That's kind of the sentiment that we picked up on this whole year. This is why the buybacks haven't been the base case, because they keep on, I mean, market uncertainty. They literally had to close their doors. What can you do? But you know what I mean? They're not stupid. So you can understand, but it's good to hear that from them in October. It's the same thing. The credit reinsurance market being dry, and then the debt pay down. They have repeatedly said that over and over again, that's what's top of mind. I don't have anything I was going to pull up something here. I don't have anything to pull. Like they said it in the transcript. So it's like it's been abundantly clear that's their intention. So it sounds like that's still the case. Quite about the European business. Yeah, some folks have been talking about them potentially selling off the European business. We haven't heard much from them on that front. So I've always discounted that. Like I said, what's coming from the management team? You know what I mean? What's coming from them? And they hadn't talked that up much. Saw the sale leasebacks. Is the Milan on the market? We're evaluating all areas of the business, so kind of boilerplate response. Want to make sure we have the flexibility to be more efficient and optimized. Evaluating our options. This team has looked at everything. Right. You can be sure they looked at everything, right? Yeah. But what are they gonna pull the trigger on, right? And what are they willing to share? Oh, okay. So Jen says I was attached to my Sega Genesis because of the Sonic. That's what I always figured. But even looking back, I was like, it was always Sonic for me. Was there anything else that was exclusively on Sega that wasn't on the other systems that was really an appeal? Like it's Sonic that stands out. So I'm not surprised by that, Jem. But I mean, that was always sick. I remember really wanted a Sega because of that one game. Trey's here, reminding everyone to like the stream. Yo, Trey, TM was in here helping out with that too. So cheers to the two of you. Oh, sick! You recently did a playthrough of Halo 1 through 3, Trey. The good Halo games. Oh, sick. I did a playthrough of Halo 1 through 3. So that this reminds me of this isn't really related, but when you talk about like a playthrough 1 through 3, I hadn't seen Star Wars for a while, and I had some friends who I hadn't seen the full series, but I had some friends who were really into it, and they were like, "Yo, you should watch 1 through 3 before you watch 4 through 6." And they were like, "You got to do it for the story." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like really? Like because I didn't know how it was all going to tie together. Like I knew some of the major plot points, right? How could you miss it? Just pop culture type stuff. But I'm like, all right. So I watched 1 through 3 and then 4 through 6. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Trey's talking about. But when you talk about like a playthrough of 1 through 3, that's what made me think of. Okay. Vendor partnership relationships. We're working on them hard. Your question is very timely. Uber. We're hoping to be able to announce something along those lines shortly. We know people need to hear more. I would point you to the transcript that's buried in there, but we already have some of those relationships in place with smaller vendors. Okay, Uber, you're saving me. I was just going to pull it up. Let me pull it up anyway. From the 2Q transcript, likewise, we have and will continue to redouble our efforts on digital game sales, including subscription offers, which already represent a meaningful portion of our sale. It popped on me. Which already represent a meaningful portion of our sales and will expand through recent digital revenue sharing agreements we have with select partners. Right, so they were vague on that, but it stood out because they hadn't talked about that previously. Interesting that they talked about interesting how they framed that to you, Uber. We're working on them hard. Your question is very timely. We're hoping to announce something. You know what I'm saying? They announce firmer details. You know what I mean? Some of the specifics, because they left all that shit out. Represents second, we have a strong loyalty base. Okay, so they kind of just glossed over it a little bit. Maybe they were waiting for. It was September. You know what I mean? Like some of this stuff, I was thinking like, all right, it was time to share this stuff, some of the stuff. Remember when we did our analysis of the Q3 earnings report, and how it's September. Like it was time to announce some of these things. I thought it was a little bit weird we didn't get more on that front because the console's only 2 months away. So maybe they were just waiting. Could they put it together with some other news items, or a bunch of partnerships of some sort? It seems like it would be more like one. They already have some of these relationships in place with smaller vendors, right? And I don't know how much you disclose of those relationships, right? How much do you talk about that? At some point, it's off the books. You don't, unless it's big. You talk about if it's big and newsworthy. But they have something that's newsworthy. That's good. I didn't know. Maybe they're going to say shit. They're like, this is the extent of what we're willing to disclose to you. I still thought, excuse me, I thought they were going to have more. Like in-store shit, you know? We're working on them hard. Your question is very timely. We're hoping to be able to announce something along those lines shortly. We know people, I like that they say we know people need to hear more. That's good, right, Uber? It's like I like that they said that, right, Uber? I feel like we've talked about that. Like it's one thing, like they know their situation, but they understand what investors and what the market needs. They're probably getting a shit ton of questions on it, right? You know, Let's give it a heads up. Hey, we know we need to say because everyone's been yelling at us that we need to share more. But it's good that he was explicit about that. I like that. We already have some of these relationships in place with the smaller vendors, right? So that they're probably not going to announce the smaller vendors, and that was kind of how I thought maybe these were just smaller things. And I'm like, are you going to have anything big? But the fact that they say they're will be able to announce something on those lines shortly. It's got to be something different. You'd expect it would be something, either with. It would be nice. It would be nice if it was some of the game publishers. You know what I mean? I'd like something like that. Remember Scott Preston's article? He was talking about that and that. Let me pull that up again. So I'm just going to run with this for a little bit. But I remember this article. We pulled this up last time. This is that Scott Preston did a good like detailing some of these different avenues. But he talked about publishers. Like, here you go. It was actually titled Vendor Partnerships. I think we just talked about this on Monday. Talk about like the you'd expect Sony or Microsoft, right? There's natural partners right there. Excuse me. And Nintendo is a possible partner too. I mean, they're coming out with some shit. They're coming out with a bunch of shit actually. So they're in there too. But it seems like, I mean, Microsoft was already in the Xbox All Access. Where's that headline? Is that it? Like, and now I'm thinking if any of the three, if there were a partner, a noteworthy partnership with a vendor, I've been thinking it would probably be Microsoft. Look at this. Why did I think that? Because the Xbox All Access. You know what I mean? Where is that? Right here. Take advantage of Xbox's new subscription service. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what else the relationship would be, but so that's what you think. But it could also be, it could be related to the game publishers as well. If anyone has any other thoughts, I'm curious. And I don't know how. I mean, how big of it? What I'm trying to gauge is how big of a deal would it be? How big of a deal would it be perceived by the market? It depends on what the vendor relationship is, of course. But at this point, because I sound like my biased opinion as a GameStop long is that I believe the fundamental thesis is accurate. I believe the technicals are bullish. And so at this point, it's more about changing sentiment and changing psychology and stuff. And with shit like that, sometimes it's just the passage of time. I say that all the time. Sometimes you just need to time just needs to pass for people to, like I talked about earlier today. You need to piece together the narrative on their own. They need to piece it together. It just takes time. Kind of like, you ever know how planets form? Like how planets form back in the day, like the particles, they coalesce over time and the gravity pulls them together. I mean, now I'm going off. Now I'm talking about Minesweeper shit, huh? I'm talking about this stuff, but they slowly coalesce over time and the narrative gets pieced together and it becomes a planet and or both theses. And anyway, what I'm getting at is that whatever this announcement could be, first of all, could it be paired with something else? And then regardless, so this is the thing. I always, I mean, I have no proof of any of this, but like, one reason I like charts, I feel as though charts can, they kind of telegraph the backdrop of the company at a given time. And right now, this is bullish. And I talked about how this is why when I thought coming out of earnings, it was almost, and I think about this about Q3 too. I mean, depending what the price point was, but where the price point was with GameStop, let me just explain myself a little bit. I had said I leaned bullish going into it. I don't even really care about the specifics of the earnings release. I felt as though it was being set up that the market was going to perceive whatever the hell GameStop said as bullish. Like I said, rose-colored glasses. As it turned out, there was the immediate sell-off, and in hindsight, I'm thinking there were too many people betting on a short squeeze, betting on the Ryan Cohen thing. Like it was so front of mind because it was that crazy week that too many people bet on it. So the immediate reaction was, oh, there's nothing game-changing in here. Boom, the sell-off. Those marginal holders sold off. But then look at the bounce back. So I feel as though that take was in the ballpark of reality, where like the chart was kind of saying, hey, people are going to perceive this as bullish. So that's how I kind of view this vendor partnership is like, I don't know how much of a game changer it's actually going to be for GameStop's fundamentals, but the market might not give a shit. The backdrop is evolving into like a bullish perception of the stock. That's what I think. It doesn't seem like the market has totally come around to that, but I think we're witnessing this in real time. So what happens is, I mean, and just as you get closer to the consoles, just people talking about it, that can get the bid price up. But like I talked about, if you have a news item, and we may have nothing, but now Uber's saying, hey, there might be something. Doesn't mean it's a game changer that the stock price is going to run or anything like that. But even still, if the market sees, oh boy, this is positive, and then there's another potential mini catalyst in the short term. Like the fundamentals are what drive it over the long term. You're looking out 6 months, a year. This stuff is kind of marginal. But when you're looking out just like the next couple months and stuff, just because of the consoles too, that's why I'm thinking about this. But okay, I'm sorry. I had to kind of just run with this. Likewise, we have and will continue to redouble our efforts on digital game sales, including subscription offers, which already represent a meaningful portion of our sales, and will expand through recent digital revenue sharing agreements we have with select partners. And will expand through recent digital revenue sharing agreements. Yeah, sick. They understand. They understand the digital game, right? This is so important. They got it. They get this. You know what I mean? We all talk about. They understand this, and they talked about this in the transcript too. We will redouble our efforts on digital game sales, including subscription offers, which already represent a meaningful portion of our sales, and will expand through recent digital with select partners. Yeah, I mean, so they're going to participate. Everyone's saying, "Oh, GameStop's trying to participate in this digital environment." It might be a different business model down the line, but in fact, it was discussed in this in Scott Preston's article here, where you go digital. Like we talked about this on Monday too. Not that I don't think they're talking about this, but could GameStop be like a trading house for used digital games? Kind of silly. I mean, it's kind of unusual for someone like me to be like, well, could they be a clearinghouse of sorts? But still, it could be something there. I don't think that's what they're talking about in this case, but even still. So yeah, the general view on GME is, does he make this point? Is it digital? Right. So as in their legacy business is going to deteriorate over time, but that doesn't mean they can't participate in this shift to digital in unique ways. Doesn't mean that they will necessarily generate as much free cash flow as they did historically, blah, blah, blah. But there's a case to be made that a brick and mortar retailer dedicated to gaming could participate in this digital landscape in a way that no other retailer can because they're so focused on gaming. You know what I mean? Again, it could be I'm looking out 3 or 4 years. It could be a different business model. But the point is, this is the crux of the GME thesis. Could there be some sort of business model 5 years out? You know what I mean? Anything, whatever it takes, because that may be all it takes is to be revalued. Excuse me. No, I must have been somewhere else where I was talking about revenue sharing stuff. Okay. Yep, Trey's happy to see the vendor partnerships too. Uber, yeah, Uber, true that. Yo, Uber, we all owe you many bears. That was sick. Is there more? Oh, he's still going. He's still going. Fuchs is saying Cerny is greater than Sherman. On PC gaming, we've done console gaming well for so long, and we've just not participated. We've seen great interest in PC gaming going very well. Those accessories are higher margin. Yep, they've said that. Trey asking about the smaller vendors. Yep. Vendor could be a number of things, like their payment vendors. Indeed. The fact that they were saying, did they say something? So who's saying that? Fox is saying that could be a smaller type thing. If they're going to announce something, I would think that it might be a little bit bigger than that, than just a payment vendor. But maybe. Good point. Yeah, PC gaming is vastly expanding more than ever. It used to be. Yeah, they do need. Okay, I mean they've talked about that on the in the conference call. They understand the importance of PC gaming. I think everyone's on board with that. Polygon talk about. Oh shit. Okay. Polygon, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. I don't even know those games. And fully restored KOTOR 2. I don't know those games. Sick, Polygon. Let me Google that. Knights of the Old Republic. Polygon, you got some unique video game taste, I gotta say. I like that. Oh shit, it's Star Wars. Oh man, my bad, Polygon. I should know something like that. Jeez. Oh, okay. Uber clarifies. No, we were talking about actual vendors. He did imply the agreements they have in place so far. The agreement so far with smaller, more indie vendors. Yep. COVID demand tailwind. Sales were better this year than expected, even with COVID. Exactly. That was the big thing. Is that some other brick and mortar, other retailers, primarily brick and mortar. I mean, GameStop is now transitioning right to be more e-commerce. Have more online sales and stuff, but I mean, other retailers were hit much worse than GameStop because GameStop had this little bit of a tailwind, and then people are saying, oh, well, they didn't benefit as much as some other folks, and that may be true, but think about where GameStop would have been if they didn't have a little bit more demand on that front. So I'm still not 100% sure it's been a total net benefit, but it could have, which is just crazy to think about. But that's this tailwind will carry over into and we've talked about why gaming generally should be bigger this time around, right? For a whole number of, a host of reasons, but that and the whole COVID demand too will contribute to that as well. Oh, Trey rewatches Star Wars from time to time. I like 4 through 6 and then 1 through 3 in that order. I've heard that. And even some of my folks who were about Star Wars, they said that. They were like, you should still do 4 through 6 and then 1 through 3. That way the excitement is paced well. I'm not big on 7 through 9. I haven't even seen the newer ones. Ugh. Dale Profits, what's up, Dale? Nice to see you again. Cheers. Been a good day. It was a interesting day on the market. We just talked. We get some GameStop news. Been an informative day, more informative than I was expecting, given how not much was happening. So sick. I hope your day has been good too, Dale. Insurance detectives, yeah. Cheers, Uber, huh? This is sick. Yep, it sounds good to me too. I agree. Yeah, so you're right. Fuchst says they got to bring a fox though and say IR's job is to paint a rosy picture. No, you are totally, and I know Uber would agree with you. You're right. Oh yeah, he does agree. He says absolutely. So you're right, and that's good for you to bring that up. But I'm not so much picking up on the rosiness of it. Just kind of the fact. I'm trying to pick up on the facts of it that maybe I hadn't priced in previously. I mean, I kicked off today's stream saying we may not get any news. We may not get any news for 2 months. That would, I mean, it could happen, but there's so much going on the console front that you would think that GameStop would announce something just to get, you know what I mean? Announce anything, even if it's just like a business update. You know what I mean? Like this was a little bit. Excuse me, sorry. But so it would be weird to announce nothing. But I meant more from like an investment standpoint. Would there be anything material that's announced before then? And truly, I wasn't sure. Something like a vendor partnership covers both, where I mean people are interested in it, like gamers are interested, people who will be shopping there, but also investors might be as well. And then they're saying they're going to announce it shortly, so that's not so much. I mean, I know Fuchs here is just making this point, but I'm just more trying to pick up on those types of things. And the Ryan Cohen thing. What do you say? April 2019? That's that's material. Okay. Board meeting frequency date. Okay. That's the thing. How do they know when he was involved, though? That's the thing. Like, I want to hear from Ryan Cohen. You know what I mean? Do they know? I guess, how do they know? It's kind of weird. Board meeting frequency / date of next meeting, four times a year, one extra than there. Board meeting frequency / date of next meeting, 4 times a year, one extra one in there. Official ones in February, June, September, and December. The primary pieces of info that were interesting to me, quantification. Oh, did he? There you go. Yeah, so Uber says the same thing. Here's the primary pieces of info, right? I agree with Uber. So Uber says the quantification of how much higher their attach rate is. Yeah, I mean, I've already been pricing in this is good enough for me. What does it say? We talked about this in the last stream too, the attach rate. What the hell is it? Why do I say? Oh, right here. GameStop accessory attach rate is significantly higher. Like, I mean, maybe Uber, your analysis is different, but for me, that's good enough for me. It just says they have a high accessory rate, but I don't know how much it impacts my model. Still good. They put a number on it. You know what I mean? I always like to when people put a number on it. I say that they're non-specialized competitors. Oh, versus their non-specialized competitors, right? And the Ryan Cohen initial investment date. So I agree with you on that, Uber, for sure. Especially in light of our discussion that we had about intentions, right? Is that it? Nope, this one. Nope. Yeah. All right. So he's invested in a while. I mean, say April 2019. Okay. I mean, there's still a case of maybe we're getting closer to the console refresh, but even still, this price has been ridiculously cheap at times. You know. Gotta think about that some more. The way he responded to my inquiring on the Milan DC being the only one not sold was that there's news to come behind that. He was very cool, being more coy than the Ryan Cohen combo. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't even thought too much about that. And the reason being, it was Uber's talking about the like the Milan DC. For me, that's downside protection. You know what I mean? That in the GameStop has it in spades. That it's meaningful for a lot of folks, but less so for me. I gotta say, I feel as though there's tremendous. That would have been bigger news for me about 6 months ago, 9 months ago. Now that we're on the we're at the new consoles, that stuff is a little bit more marginal for me. Like, it's not like if they announced something, I wouldn't be like, oh shit, oh whoa. Not that you would, Uber. I'm not saying that, but. And you may even agree with that, but they said there's going to be news on that? Really? Yeah, if you bought in, then it would have been 8 to 9 range. Oh shit, that's right. Good point. I didn't even look at the damn chart. Well, it depends when you bought it. Well, if they say April 2019, okay. I also don't know how to verify. I mean, maybe y'all have. I asked that question. Maybe you've already answered me, but like, how do they know? I mean, do they know? Do they know we got? I mean, say April 2019. There you go. Good call. Yep, $8 to $9, right around there. Maybe since that sell-off. That was when Sherman took over, wasn't it? Well before the PetSmart. Yeah, a year before he was added to the board. 8 to 9. Yeah. Or 9, or yeah, 8 to 9. Okay. Bigger market cap. 8 to 9, but 9 times. There was 102 outstanding. There was 102 outstanding. The market cap was 900 million. If that's accurate, I have no idea. 918 million. I'm counting with $9 times 102, right? 9 times 102. And since then, they've bought back a third of them, and he's been sitting there idly. This sell-off was kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? And he was just like, maybe he had enough too. You know what I mean? He was like, what the hell's going on here? Takeover? Where do you see takeover? Like, was it playing the long game? Don't you? I mean, maybe you get a toehold and then you start buying in. Maybe, but I don't know. It seems like interested shareholder, doesn't it? Okay. Sorry, I gotta think about this offline. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm thinking during the stream. Come on. Thanks. Now you who can sleep happy. Yeah, cheers, Uber. This is sick. I know, Trey. I want Trey to get one. Oh, sorry, Trey. I know. He's saying if only GME would carry more. And I hope you get one soon. I mean, I like you. And Jerry was the one saying he doesn't know about additional pre-orders, too. So that's... Is the attach rate for in-stores, though? Oh, that would make sense. I think Uber was going to ask that, didn't he? That would make sense. Online, harder to say. Right, you'd think so. If there's a second wave, could be in for some hurting. This is part of the reason for maintaining the cash balance. You know what I mean? All this uncertainty, you can kind of get it. You might say, hey, they haven't really needed all that much so far, but I don't know that we get... I don't think that... Eisenhower had been asking about if the market sells off, but I don't think even on an economic standpoint you get as much of a reaction in the economy as you did back then either. So I'm not sure. Like the GameStop would have to close its doors fully. I'm not so sure about that. Not that Fuchs here is saying that, but and speaking with Justin, his viewpoint regarding the investment is that makes it more likely that Ryan Cohen's recent actions imply his intention to take control of the company. Wow. I don't agree. Justin. To take control of the company. So I assume, Uber, you talked with Justin following, you shared this news with him. That makes it more likely that Ryan Cohen's... do we all just see what we expect to see? Is that it? The actions imply his intention to take control of the company. Wow. I don't see that. I don't see it. Are we all just confirming our own prior viewpoints? Are we confirming our priors by interpreting this stuff? That's kind of funny. None of us know what's the accurate take, but it's interesting. He thinks it's more likely, and I think it's more likely that he's not. Isn't that funny? And you see Justin's articles, you know, he's a good analyst. Wow. Well, Uber, I'm glad you shared that. I was kind of curious what Justin's take would be, as well as Fox, too. And someone just said this. Doesn't the intraday chart look bullish short-term still? That's a good question. Oh. Not particularly. It looks okay. Looks okay. But, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, Trey. Does it look particularly bullish? It looks okay. Like, it looks like it's, I don't know. These things are tough. Those really short-term stuff, I don't know. It looks like it's kind of basing. That's what it kind of looks like. But after a base, it could do nothing. It could continue basing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say it looks bullish per se in a short-term perspective. Like, it's being less and less overbought. You know what I mean? It's being less and less oversold. It's kind of like narrowing in on a range a little bit. What is this over? How many days? 10 days? 15 days? It hasn't been overbought since September 29th. You know, so I don't see too much bullishness, but I don't see too much bearishness. I kind of see nothing. Which, for if you're a fundamentals-based investor, that's fine. It's because you're just kind of waiting for other folks to come around to the thesis. Isn't that what Uncle Fox said in the beginning? Control? Yes, the language in the 13D was supremely unique, is what Fox said. I thought Fox said it was more boilerplate. Did he say that? Yes, I think they offer more online console sales. Then maybe attachment rate would improve. Oh, shit. Oh, am I way behind? Oh, I talked way too much. Oh, shit. Oh, wait. I think if they... Okay, Trey's talking about... If they offer more online console sales, then the attachment rate could improve. Yep, okay. But the online experience needs a lot to be able to handle. Yep, Trey's dialed into the GameStop experience, so he seems to. I'm sure Trey, your insights are they're valuable for someone like me, because he's like, yo, they could do this better, they could do that better. If they offer more online console sales, then maybe the attachment rate would improve. Okay, but they need to better the online experience. Let's hope that they can better it within the next couple of months for sure. So Uber, you're quoting, as you know, we've spent quite a bit of time on that. I mean, Uber, you participated in that discussion because I don't know if I didn't know Fox thought it was unique. I thought it was unique. I was the one. Did Fox agree that it was unique? I thought Fox was the one saying it was more boilerplate. You know what I mean? I thought I was alone in thinking that it was crazy unique. You know what I mean? It's the word willingness that seems crazy to me. Eisenhall has some good German beer. I've had some good German beer over too. Yeah. Oh, Eisenhall, if you have some recommendations, you gotta toss out some recommendations. I'll be picking that shit up. From a German, oh, that would be sick. Das ist gut. The worst video game takes. Oh no, Polygon. Someone in the chat. Yeah. It's not like thanks a lot over Polygon. That's right. It's not like GME relies on the squeeze to be a good play, right? Not for me. For other folks, for other short-term folks, that maybe it was. In which case, that can be a tough thing to play. Short interest went to 0. Still good at 20. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. The short interest has always been a marginal component of my personal thesis. That's why I never spent much time on it in those videos. If you take like the total amount of time I spent on it, I was like, this is just a bit of a sideshow. On the existing base, you can see on the pre-owned, it is a business that is challenged when you can't get the customers indoors. Those are traffic bans. That it's more difficult to upsell random trinkets online versus in-store. Right, that's what a lot of us, yeah. Gaming is becoming the new biggest hobby, most likely. It's easy to engage and there's all kinds of games. Yeah, and that's why, broken record, GameStop's a unique cigar butt, right? Because I agree. They're in a good industry, right, Trey? I think 2021 will be the... People talk about lockdowns. Okay, clearly not a need for shelter-in-place Uber. Yep, so people talk about like lockdowns, potential, what could possibly happen over the next couple months or year. Yep, okay. People sharing their opinions on this. Seems like most people are kind of on the same page here, and that you're not going to get like a March/April reaction, but you could certain elements will persist. Just trying to scroll through. I get the impression they genuinely don't know about allocations. Yeah, I don't think they do. I think that's why they were that's why they answered it like this. And I would just say that they're in line with expectations and probably with prior release as well. I think they're just kind of guessing. But that even still, I thought that was still good. Kitty was monetized this chat about the virus would get him to... Is that real? Are you serious? You think it would? Are you not supposed to chat about this stuff? That's it. No, you must be joking, Polygon. All right, talking politics. Yeah, he bought 4.3 million shares since August 13th. He must have won 2.2, right? We did know it was about 2. I think he wanted to observe the business, learn about it before jumping in feet first. So how did he go about learning about it? You know what I mean? He may have been watching, seeing how the operations unfold over this tough period, or he was engaging with management. Or is he just doing analysis like us? Uber, what's your take? What the hell do you think? Before jumping in feet first. So Ryan Cohen had to file to take active ownership. Yes, he did, Jen. He had, if he's going to be an activist investor of sorts, and once he owns more than 5%, he has to file something. But if he's going to be activist, he has to file a particular type of a filing, the 13D as opposed to the 13G. Hey, Rowan Kitty, try to put some roofies in your beer. What is his stream after that? Baby, I don't know if you want to see that, Hugo. Oh, boy, I don't know if I'd make it. AMD has a big announcement tomorrow. I'm super hyped about that. Maybe GME will carry the new chip. Shit, Trey, I didn't know that. Yo, Trey, let me know. Yo, that'd be something. I mean, I don't know how meaningful that would be, but that's a potential news headline that I wasn't really tracking. Drunk kitty debate reaction. Yeah, drunk kitty debate reaction to the stream. Go, go, go. Has it started? It must be started at 9, right? It's probably starting at 9. Oh, Foxed. Oh, everyone. Foxed is here. Everyone, get your shit together. Put the drinks down. We were doing stock research, right? We weren't talking video games. We weren't talking German beers. We weren't having a good time. We were looking at 10Ks, Fox. We promise. We were being very diligent work today. Very hardcore security analyst in here, Fox. You can take my word for it. Oh, shit. Fox, yeah, there's a lot to read above. All right, so Fox, go. You got to catch up, Fox. You got to catch up. Fox touched base with the investor relations team here, and he graciously has shared some of his notes here, which has been terrific. Hugo, Fox is here. Creepy music. I should have some creepy music for the intro. You know what I mean? That's a good idea, not just for Fox, but like Halloween coming up. You know, that's a good idea. Oh, that's a good idea. I mean, who cares? Right? We've been thinking about Halloween lately. Just say why when? Did he say why/when there's 1 times more board meeting? Roaring Kitty, go check your streams. It's unique. What's unique? Roaring Kitty is so far back. Oh, Polygon, no! Oh, I am. Am I far back again? If I'm not mistaken. I'm going through. I'm way behind. And no, that was immaterial capturing his stream of consciousness. Oh, shit. Hello, I'll be honest. Who checks archives? Oh, yeah, I don't look. So am I supposed to be looking at past streams or stuff? Fox, why am I supposed to be looking? So I missed something? Chicken tenders. Okay, come on. Ah, shit. Oh, I'm getting caught up. Attach rate is interesting. Wow, Uber. Fox agrees with you, attach rate, huh? Fox, I even take notes. He checks the archives. He even takes notes because every word is a precious little snowflake. Yep. Okay, Fox. Yeah. Ah, shit. Milan DC is probably not stock moving, is my guess. So I agree with you, Fox. That's what I was saying. It's not. I don't think it's stock moving. Check the archives on this, Fox. I agree with you. It's not a game changer for me at this point. It's more downside protection type stuff, which is we have it in spades. So it's a marginal type thing on that aspect. If coupled with other shit, perhaps, if there's like a whole bunch of stuff, because of the rose-colored glasses. More so the rose-colored glasses than the actual impact on the fundamentals. But people are like, whoa! Like if it happened 6 months ago, no one gives a shit, right? I mean, the sale-leasebacks happened. No one gave a shit. I mean, I guess, we knew they were happening. But, actually, if you were doing some research, you kind of saw them happen if you were tracking some of the filings and stuff. But the market didn't care. But now something like that, maybe they care. But I agree, it doesn't have a major impact on it. Oh, you're not joking, Polygon? Holy shit, you're not allowed to talk about that stuff? Yo, that's crazy. Right? Free speech? No? My questioning did kind of get that they're talking about Europe similar to Nordic. Easily the most coy. There's also a case they may just keep they may keep certain things open or keep things longer than they might otherwise because of the new consoles, that they just want to have some stores and stuff still open. People get a big flag and demonetized for saying the virus. Really, Trey? Oh, shit. Yo, I didn't know that. Y'all just having a conversation now. What? Well, good thing it's not monetized then. Uber, probably a deal there. Don't think it moves the stock. Yep. Okay, I have some experience. Between the lines. All about the cash, bro. Cash on balance sheet is not super impactful. Straight away, the cash on the balance sheet is not super impactful when there's no active plan to deploy the cash. It's just cash. Oh, Fox, you talking about the cash angle? Yeah. Yeah, I already talked about that at length. Put the weed away before Fox sees. Yeah, put it away. Fox will just take it off. Doesn't bother me. It only kills your brain cells. It makes you blind as well. Oh yeah, I'm almost caught up. Okay, hey Fox, what do you think about Fox? What is your take on the potential news that Ryan Cohen may have taken his position, those initial shares in April 2019? You know what I mean? I'd be curious about that. Do I got it up still? Got it? Oh, I got two things, Fox. I mean, I can't go check the archives here. What was your take on this language? Did you think it was boilerplate, or did you think it was notably unique? And also, what's your take on the fact that he may have been a shareholder? He may have been. Again, I don't. He may have been a shareholder back in April 2019, and now is when he's taking his case. How does that impact the probabilities in your mind of a potential takeout of the company? What? Fox, did you... Uber, I believe you. If you're... Because I don't have a... Yeah, okay. Are you confirming that, Fox? That it was the most interesting you've read in a decade? Because I don't remember. I just can't remember. I thought at one point it was definitely said that some of this language was mostly boilerplate stuff. Fox... But in particular, we can, at least someone reads what I write. But okay, we clarifying is Uber. So what Uber is saying is accurate, right? That you do think it is some of the most interesting you've read in a decade. The first 13D was boilerplate. Yes, I agree with that. Uber. It was boilerplate. The 921 file, right? In this language, you quoted it. I agree with you. And Fox, that's what Justin said. I said. Yes, the best result for all boilerplate. Yes, that part, this is, Fox, come on. Fox, come on. Oh, shit. Okay, Fox. Yeah, so that part is boilerplate. We agree with you on that. What is so unique about this? That's what I'd like you, if you'd be so kind. I mean, I know I'm very curious about all in the archives, bro. All right, Fox. Okay. See, now I have to see what I mean. This is now I'm a victim of my own issues. You know what I mean? I say how you're asking a lot, bro. Oh shit. How Right. Yeah, I agree with it. That's boilerplate, right? And then we were joking, Fox, about how I want to see the investor relations team who says that I only want the best results for some of the shareholders, the big shareholders. I remember that aspect. Maybe drink less. Okay. All right. Okay. I remember that part of the conversation. I don't remember many people agreeing with me that this was more unusual, but indeed, I will have to check the archives. But see, now I'm talking about how the experience of 5-hour streams or 3-hour streams, whatever the hell it is, if I don't do timestamps, it sucks for people. Now, I mean, for myself included. So I apologize to you all, but also, yeah, I told you, Vox, you're accusing me of not remembering. I'm asking for clarification on stuff here. But all right, okay. So Fox thinks it's fairly unique. I will check the archives. I'll check the archives. I'll do my best to check the archives. I'll spend like maybe I eat some happy brownies. Oh, blessed. I may have missed your question, blessed. Sometimes I just scroll through. I miss the stuff. Oh, you're asking me? Oh yeah, blessed. I did. Are you reading anything from Ryan Cohen's lawyer Christopher Day, specialized in M&A? No, I'm not. He has such a broad specialization, blessed, that I don't know what there is to read into it. Some folks were, but I didn't have the same take. Yeah, that one. Yeah, Fox, what's your take on that? Because sorry, so blessed. We did talk about that on the previous streams where his expert. Because what'd you say, blessed? You said specializing in M&A and tender offers. He also, if you check out that webpage, blessed, he also just specializes in helping out activist investors. So it's such a general. I think people are homing in on the M&A aspect and the other aspect that you mentioned. I think they're focusing on that, but he had other things that he may just help activist investors do whatever it is they got to do. So it was notable, and we looked into it, but I had a little bit of a different take. I didn't. I kind of left it at that. Confirming my priors. No, maybe confirming your priors. Like we've already been joking about that during the stream, right? We're all trying to be careful of that. Okay, which bit? The one where you went spitznagel on us? Jeez. Very high quality YouTubers who will absolutely drop a 5-hour QA like it's nothing. Cool. Yeah, sick. Okay. Yeah, but the 5-hour QA. But then, if people want to tune in later, and people have recommended this, like if you just add some timestamps to it, so people can home in on certain sections if they were curious about it, right? And like I'm not doing that right now. I hope to down the line. It's good feedback people have given me. I'm just not there yet. So I would hope that those people doing it, I don't know. I would like that if I were a viewer to be able to jump right to a certain section. Otherwise, you got to read or click ahead and stuff, and it's kind of tough. Yeah, timestamps are definitely great. Yeah, okay, I agree, Polygon. Okay. Longer involvement than expected. Hard to say level of engagement. Pre-13D, I don't think he'll have access to anything beyond what outside investors get. Post-13D, may still not get access. Depends if they can agree on NDA terms. Okay, I have one question for you, Fox. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. My one question is, positive for sure, how does it impact your probabilities of a takeover? How does knowing that, if at all, you may say it doesn't. I'm not sure I would totally agree with that, but I'm curious about your take. Does knowing that he's been a shareholder since April 2019 impact your your probability model in your head as to the takeover? If you'd be willing to share. De minimis. All right. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Changes a little bit for me. We definitely, because we said that on a couple of streams. We talked about this. How if he had been hey Fox, there's a question for you. You've been talking about how, first of all, activist investors, it ultimately resulting in a hostile takeover is rare, right? You've pointed that out. How about a hostile takeover, or any takeover for that matter, whereby the investor originally started off as a passive, very small investor for the firm, and 18 months passed per se. Maybe it's very common. I don't know the answer to this. I don't have the experience with it. How common is that? Where someone might just sit on it for a bit and then say they're going to take it over. Indeed, it was a small position, 2.2 million times, what we say, it was 15 million, 20 million, which was nothing for him. It was just a small position. But if you have any data on that or opinions on that. Still uncommon. Still uncommon. Yeah, you think it's uncommon. Okay. That's what I thought. You think it's uncommon that he would have this initial stake at a small position and then 18 months down the line decide now is when I want to take it over. You would say that that's uncommon. Yes, I agree. Okay. There you go. All right. That's what I was getting at. Okay. Now, Fox, you say it doesn't impact your opinion, but it impacts me. Going actor is super expensive, so I agree. So for me, because it's uncommon, and even though I'm not an expert on this stuff, I just kind of assumed it was uncommon, for better or worse, you know. And because it's uncommon, I lean a bit more toward just interested shareholder who wants the investment to work out. Just like we have with Michael Burry, who sent all those letters, Hesty and Perman, who sent all those letters, and went full-blown activists on them trying to get board seats, and no intent to take over the company. Like, it's happened with existing shareholders, which is always so a bit unusual to me that everyone hopped on that. I understand why. Not unusual. Unusual is not the right word. It's the confidence with which people held that, because I don't think he's doing this as a hostile. Forget. I'm not even asking about the hostile. Forget. Yeah. Let's table the hostile aspect. More just general takeover. I'm just general takeover. Less interested in the hostile aspect, just the likelihood that he would be interested in taking it out. Active and hostile are different. Indeed, they're totally different, right? Sorry, did I say hostile? I didn't think I did. But I'll have to go to the archives. I go all over the place. I can't remember. Last stream, I can't even remember what I said 5 minutes ago. Shit. Whew. Interesting, man. Yeah, hey, blessed. Maybe I'm confirming my priors here too. I can't. This is why we talk about echo chamber and all that stuff, confirmation bias and blah blah blah. I'm like, I try to be aware. I do my best to be aware. But then they say, yeah. I mean, you read all the books, and they say how even if you know about your biases, right? What was that book by you know, the famous one? Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. I gave you no details. Kahneman and Tversky and so forth. There's a whole bunch of books on this topic, but they're the most prominent authors on it. But how even if you're well aware and you even know all about the biases, you still commit them. It's so hard to get out from underneath them. They're just so damn heavy. You have to at least acknowledge your biases. Indeed, Trey, you got to at least acknowledge them and be aware of them. But sometimes it's still not enough. Sometimes it don't matter. You still fall victim to it, which is this is part of the challenge of security analysis and being an investor is. Acknowledge them, learn about them, right? First, learn about them, learn about that. I don't even know they existed 10 years ago. I didn't know enough about it. Then you got to learn about them, and then you kind of do your best to recognize them and see if you're falling victim to that, and then try to correct if possible. Okay, Fox says often actives file and have a presumed hostile intent. But I think Ryan Cohen has a different angle. It's more like active and not hostile. Steve Stunk. To the archives. Batman theme. Archives. I like that, Steve. We're going where we don't need archives. Because I can never track anything down. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Fox, how am I going to go to the archives here? Huh? Thank you, Jen. What? I'm going to go to the archives here. Jeez. All right. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I think that's fair, Fox. I get that. Understandable. There's a case to be made that should there even, is there some way to turn off the chat after? I mean, do any folks, well, that's the thing. Do any folks, I mean, everyone here is tuned in live, but have you ever looked at, I'd be curious, have you ever looked at an old stream? Oh, definitely. If you've done this, please share. If you watched a stream that already happened, so you didn't see it live, right? But were you watching the chat? Were you reading the chat? Like, was the chat, I assume it was, right? Was it an integral component of the stream? Because if it is, then it's like, oh yeah, the chat's got to stick around. You know, I think it's unique from an investment standpoint because it's a little bit different than, say, a gaming chat or whatever it might be. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Polygon. I figured that was the case, right? I figured that was the case. And okay, so one final question on this matter. Uber, Uber, your thoughts? And have they changed? Stream is pretty useless with the chat. Thanks, Polygon. Thanks, Polygon. I appreciate it. Right to the point. Polygon, Fox decreased. Hey, cheers to that. Cheers to that. Ain't that the truth? That's what I'm saying. Thank y'all. Context is important, right? Of course, of course. I totally agree. Oh, shit, that's funny. I mean, I don't think you meant it to be that funny, but it's really funny to me. Oh, sick. Hey, Uber, have your thoughts changed during this stream as to whether or not Ryan Cohen being a relatively longer term shareholder and that it wasn't just recent? Has that impacted how do you view takeover probabilities? Have any probabilities changed in your mind? I feel like that's really the only big one. There you go. And he did note that he shared ideas. Sick. Glad to know that Ryan Cohen has been invested and involved since the new management came in. Eric did note that he shared ideas. There you go. Okay. So Uber, yeah. So first of all, thanks for sharing that. That he did note that he shared ideas. Okay. As many investors do, right? I mean, many investors share ideas with management, right? That's not uncommon. But even still, I talk about a management team. Who cares? An investor base. Who cares? You know what I mean? But even just sharing your views with the management team shows you can't. Like Uber may have shared you may have shared your views today. You know what I mean? And but even still, knowing that it may have been something. Why should those who want live get the benefit from the chat? Hey, yeah, that's. I guess that's a bit subjective because people might still watch it and they're interested in some of the things we talk about. I mean, I can see that. Maybe you have a different view of that, Fox. That's your prerogative. Uber, yeah. So Uber said he loaded an old vid and there was no chat record at all for what it's worth. So I got two things to say that. First of all, Uber, it might be because no one was there. How old was it, Uber? Because if it was August, there legit might have been no one there. But the second thing is I've seen that too and I was pissed. And I don't know why that happened. It hasn't happened in a while though. I didn't know. I tried to Google it. Like, what the hell happened here? I thought maybe it might have been the music that I paid for all the music that you hear and stuff. But I still said like a copyright notice. But I don't think it wasn't an infringement or anything. It was just like, hey, heads up. And I thought, oh shit, did that have to do with it? And then I was pissed that chat didn't stick around because I was trying to look into it too. So Uber, I apologize for that. I don't think it's happened recently, but now I'm like, oh, you see it now? Oh, you did it on the on the laptop. It didn't, but you see it now. Oh, okay. Okay. There it is. It's irregular. There it is. It's irregular. Oh, it's irregular. Okay, so maybe just sometimes it's not working. Oh, I missed it. Yep. Oh, Eric M. The debate just started. Oh, it just started at 9. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Wait, did I skip anything? I think I did. Brian Cohen will get to do an apologetic takeover. I missed that. Oh, man, I didn't. Now it's showing up. You could use Streamlabs to put the chat on the screen. Oh, yeah. I could probably just drag it over, too. But do people do that? Do people have the... Oh, yeah. And it just shows up kind of like invisible. I've seen that. So is that what they're using? Streamlabs, Polygon? Is that it's a different thing? It's so I use OBS. So is it something it can use alongside OBS, or is it used in lieu of OBS? I did see that on some out there, and I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if it would interfere with research and stuff like that. Not that we ever do that shit. Oh, okay. So Trey is saying that the chat does work on archive streams. You just have to unhide it. Okay. So thanks for the heads up, Trey. And thanks for clarifying, Uber, too, that you didn't see it at first, but you did see it another time. I should check back on those other streams. I forget. It was an old one with no chat from August. There might have been no one there, Uber. There was definitely some where there was no chat at all. And then some there was just one person. Oh, I had a question. Oh, Steve, thank you. 9 p.m. GME on the threshold list again. Hey, did we skip a day? I feel like I didn't get an update on Monday. Have we been on the threshold list this whole time? Did anyone just throw it out there before someone makes a comment stating this means anything? Has GameStop been on the threshold list this? Because isn't today or tomorrow supposed to be the day people were saying something's going to happen? Oh shit, Steve Starr got him. Oh shit. That was sick. First appeared the 22nd of September. Someone was keeping close tabs of it. And then when no one mentioned it, well, I didn't remember anyone mention it last stream. Maybe, I assumed maybe it had fallen off and then people, maybe I didn't see it too much on Twitter or something. I'm going to be on there for 666 days. Well, you saw that, the overstock stuff, right? Until the 7th. Seal cracks open. I don't know if it's been on there nonstop. If anyone can confirm, because remember this was a test. I was discounting it as a factor. But if something happens, then maybe we'll say, shit, I should have been paying closer attention to it. But shit, I don't know if anyone's keeping tabs. Because I haven't heard anyone talking about it, I wonder if it just fell off. All right, Uber, thanks for sharing all that shit. I got to think about that stuff some more. Wow, Justin thinks it confirms what he was thinking. Control. Which doesn't necessarily mean a takeout, but control the outcome of the company, I assume he means. Or it could mean. It could mean outright ownership. I don't know. Let me minimize this. Okay, look at this. I've been caught up a couple times. This is sick. Green Day, huh? Everything's still looking super bullish. Are things popping up against kind of curious about this now. Just quick. Whoa. Man, energy. This is energy versus the S&P 500. Yikes. Kind of just wanted to see how some of the industries are performing just quick. These are all, what's this? Consumer discretionary versus S&P. Oh, so this is everything versus the S&P? Okay. Let me just get right to it. I don't care about the relatives right now. There we go. Okay, energy. Ooh, coming down. Still looks rough. Materials looking good. Industrials bumping up. Consumer discretionary right there. We're starting with sectors, right? Information technology, healthcare. See, things are kind of looking a little bit fishy. Then bounce right back. Kind of just got to see what happens. Fox definitely loves this type of analysis, I know. Okay, oh, is it confirmed? Is it 12 days on the threshold list? There you go. Isn't it like 13 or something? Were people saying 13? Utilities. Oh, wow, utilities. What the hell? Is this weekly? Yeah, it's weekly. It's interesting. Retail. Straight retail. Okay, now we're getting into industries. Home builders. Wow, home builders, huh? It's going to be a scene on the big short screen. All right, some things. Transports. Wow, transports and utilities. They're outright breaking out, huh? Shipping. This is just one company. Myers. Wow, that looks. Wow. It's overbought. A shipping company. I think they're one of the biggest shippers in the world. Wow. That's kind of bullish, huh? Environmental services. U.S. tech. Software. Internet. I haven't done this in a while. There's like I'll do this every couple weeks or every couple months. I mean, it's marginal analysis, but sometimes you like to just take the pulse of what everything is. There's your arc. There you go. Everyone's talking about that shit. There you go. Look at this. It's in the list. Wow, that chart looks good. Damn. China internet. Oh, semiconductors. A little bit of a risk on to a degree. Robotics. Damn. Okay. Interesting that these things, along with like shipping and the transports. What? But in everything, a lot of other stuff. Biotech, big up week for biotech. Shit. Okay. Oh, what because of the Trump news? I wonder. Biotech general. Pharma, medical devices. That's been a tank. This has been a tank of a chart. XLE, insurance, KIE. I mean, banks. Well, nothing looks extra bearish right now. That's my quick take. So a couple things look kind of bullish. And this is the weekly. And everyone was talking about. See, I think this pullback kind of got people a little bit nervous here. But man, I'm not seeing much. If anything, the collective thing, I lean a little bit bullish on some of this stuff. Okay, I was just curious about that. Okay, so you're gonna see, and then Alcoa, that's still at 12, but it was just at 15 a little while back. Sabanye, okay, and then Russell 2000. We just saw it on the relative bit. We saw it versus QQQ. There you go. Okay. Okay, so this is why some people are talking about it. You got a little bit of a, what is this, one day? It's daily. So keep an eye on this one. A little bit of a breakout there. Getting close. The weekly looks good. See how it ends the week. It's Wednesday. Shit. Cool. What's gold at? Where's gold at? 19, nothing. Oil 40. Natural gas all over the place. Silver 25. Platinum. Palladium. Palladium's been a leader too. Oh, that looks good. This looks bullish. Sabani is one of the top positions. Okay. Okay. Goodyear? What's Goodyear doing? I haven't checked in on some of these. A little bit of a dip there. Those are people getting a little bit nervous. Okay. And rare earths. Weird one for you. Hanging in there, hanging in there. Roy and Kitty going into monologue mode. Oh no, I know. Save me from doing actual research. Please, please, please. Yes, nice price. So TSE, huh? That was the biggest position in the portfolio for a while. I saw New Gold pop the other day. That was pretty big. Kind of came back a little bit. Sandridge looking interesting. Oh, you know what I want a little bit? I mean, this was a smaller play, but this one kind of broke out today. It was kind of, what did it close at? 208? This is a very speculative energy play. Oh yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on the debate. I wonder how that's going. Request participants or regular clients must immediately purchase shares to close out with large. Yeah, I know. We'll see if it actually what it means, Steve. UFI finally taken off. There you go. Well, you know what? Things kind of looking okay. You know what would be good? If I can do, this would be a good time for this. Now we're in chart view mode, huh? If I do run kitty portfolio, and then I do boy, I haven't done this in a while. Hope I remember how to do this. Oh, I got a link. Let's do the weekly. Okay, from group, upload CSV, boom, circ. Ah, sick. Problem I've been light and lift read the list is to be removed. There must be 5 consecutive days of FT. I did see that it's got to be 5 consecutive days or something. Yeah, I know. I'm in. We'll see if anything. We'll see if anything comes of this. All right, here we go. Oh shit, that's the old charts. Okay. All right, GameStop looks good. RFP right up there. Oh, it's above 5 now. Damn it. Should have gone heavier. New gold looking good. A lot of things. Okay, looks similar actually. PBF. Watching that one closely. CNR. All right, CNR. A lot of these. See, you're gonna see a lot of the same thing I've been noticed is that. Like here's another thing. I feel like technical analysis is kind of good at. It's like taking the pulse of a whole bunch of stocks at the same time. And look at this. I see you see like RFP right up against a little bit, just a mini resistance. This is. Oh, this is daily. Oh, you know what? I could probably change some of these. Oh, so there we go. Oh, that's actually, I kind of like that. So it's GameStop right along the 20-day. I'm not always looking at those moving averages, but you get the 20-day there. It's right there. But you got RFP bumping up. You got New Gold bumping up. And all different types of plays, right? But PBF a little bit different. At support. CNR right up there. There's a good move for CNR today. They were announced earnings. That was the reason for the big pop. And then boom, 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 boom. It's kind of just bobbing around. Looks good. Looks good. TSE looks good. What happened to FTK? Looks good. And this one has an inside bottoming, if you remember. Not since September 11th. But it was a bunch. It was a bunch, though. Okay, keep it going. Range Resources right up there. Let's see what happens with natural gas. I'm very curious about that. Sandridge, this one looks good. This one looks interesting. Carl Icon's involved. UNFI, bouncing back nice. Sometimes these stocks, this is they'll sell off immediately following earnings, and they'll bounce back, and that's kind of bullish. So that's good for UNFI. Okay. Boy, I haven't done this in a while. Oh. This chart looks good. This one should have been heavier too. This and RFP. This will be a big winner too. This big winner? I don't know. If ooh, BXC. Oh, I'm glad I didn't trim this all that much. Sick. This one's really taken off. I didn't trim it too much because it was always holding its own. It bid up and then it held its own. Real estate related company, but interesting assets, difficult to value. Methanex looks good. This one's looking good. Maxar right up against the top. Scientific Games, I heard they raised some money from investors. Antero, looking a little bit similar to, a little bit different than Range, but Howard Hughes. Slow and steady. Oh, well, and this one bounced back strong. Remember when we bought it? We talked about during one of the stream. We bought it like right there. It's up 40%. That's sick. Except we said we were gonna watch it. I thought it might break down. There was only a couple of days. Shit. But that was because TSE was such a big position. It's another chemicals type company. But that one looked good. This one, damn, bounced right back. That sucks. I remember. So it was this stream, whatever this stream was, the 19th or the 20th. And we said let's keep an eye on it. And then it bounced right back, and then boom, boom, boom. Bummer. Now it's overbought. See, they talk about everything's an experiment. See this? You had a little bit of support, 1 day support, 1 day support, 1 day support. And then on the 20th and the 21st, it kind of broke through it. Nothing crazy. And then talk about checking the archives. I'm right on that one. And then we bought for the Roaring Kitty portfolio. And then the very next day, it popped right back up. And we'll say, all right, let's see what happens. Then boom, boom, and now it's overbought. See, things can change quickly. And the charts can lead you a little bit. That's why you're always just watching stuff. Take action based on the valuation. And then use the charts to help guide maybe future decisions. This one looks good too. we could just been sitting on it, waiting on it. Add? Do I add? TA right up against. Okay, so a lot of things right up against, even UFI right up against a little bit. And then it's a question of what's the next move. But now that time has passed and it's been retested a number of times, if it breaks through, it's kind of bullish. You know what I mean? This one has been rough. That's too bad. I had a stronger balance sheet than some of its peers. Fossil. Damn, this one never really pulled back all that much. Keep an eye on that one. Pump. I still like that one. Sabanye, there you go. GII, okay. Looks okay. Look at this. GII, I remember that day. That was the 18th. It sold way down. Went below 3. Oh, it kissed 3. I forget. I didn't get it. I didn't get it at that time, though. I missed it, but I saw it. I was like, what the hell? ASPS. SDKL. Okay. That's the thing. So I'll look at these just to get a feel for everything. I feel like I got a good enough feel for a lot of that stuff. But sometimes, for some of these things, it's almost like sometimes I look for an interesting chart. But for some of these, I kind of have a good idea as to what the value is on some of these. And most of them at the current price points, even though they might be a little bit bullish here or there, off the top of my head, there's not too many of them that are crazy compelling. You know what I mean? And I need something crazy compelling where I'll start digging in and dig in deep. There's a couple that could have quite a bit of upside. But a lot of these, like some of these energy ones, that one's kind of bobbing along. Like a lot of these speculative energy ones, it's just it's kind of an energy play, but some of them have some downside protection. What was the other? I just had pump. Some of them struggling a bit. What's energy gonna do? 60% bar rate doesn't cost people to. What are the borrow fees? %29 dropping. Yeah, but not much. I'm not seeing much. And on your forced closure is the way. But yeah, there needs to be a reason for them to close. You know what I mean? There needs to be a bunch of buyers. And how do you get a bunch of buyers with... yeah, right. Positive Q4, right. So it could be maybe quite a ways away. See, I brought pound. That was $15, $16 per share. So just price point might induce some in the positive 4Q comment. Yep. Borrow fee still away. Don't think. Has to be a fundamental reason. Right, I kind of agree with Foxed on this. Fox is saying 60% borrow rate doesn't cost people to close. Right, I don't think the rate... I mean, the rate was over 100%, wasn't it? It was, yeah, we got it right here. The rate was... Steve just said 100. I mean, it has been that high before. They didn't close. Right? Oh, no. Wait, is the orange the fee? Oh, is the orange the fee? No, oh, back here. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy, and they didn't really close. Yeah, I don't know about the price point, because if they're big institutions, I don't know that it would take a lot for them to be like they close. Maybe just for a rising price, but 15, 16 starts. I'd agree, it starts to get interesting. Just the sheer dollar amount, right? Are we just talking about that? Just the sheer dollar amount that the position is at. Kitty, what do we disagree on? We agree on 99.9%. We definitely agree. We definitely agree more than we don't. That's for damn sure. I mean, we joke, but a lot of times you'll say something like, "Yeah, we got. We got it. We got the magic 8 ball." Are we supposed to? Weren't we supposed to follow up on something today? I forget. But I agree with Fox, though. It has to be a fundamental reason, I think. I agree with, I mean, I'm interested to see what happens, Uber, when it hits 15, 16. Like, could that, it depends, like, if it's just large institutions that are behind it, they might be able to just stomach that. It's just, you're down 50%. You're talking a $1 billion short. Oh. We must have the same. Okay, is it possible to reallocate? Is it possible to reallocate their unused $100 million authorized for buybacks and pay out a special dividend to screw with the short? So I mean, it's conceivable, Steve. I think highly unlikely. But yeah, if they ever paid a dividend, that would be a short squeeze. Yeah, that could cause it. It's possible to reallocate their unused. Oh, to reallocate the authorization. Oh, I doubt that, Steve. Sorry. Could they reallocate the unused $100 million authorized for buybacks? I don't know. I guess we need to dig into the actual document, but I doubt it. I think it's authorized for share repurchases specifically. I think, but I suppose I'm not 100% on that. But even still, couldn't they still announce a special dividend or something? Again, highly unlikely, but yeah, fun to think about. And special div is an allocation to existing shareholders over future shareholders. Sure. Okay, Uber says you're talking a $1 billion short at $15.50, right? Just because the share number of shares that are actually short times 15. 1 billion short may not be that much. Yeah, it depends on. That's why it depends who it is. Like if it's big institutions. Well, 1 billion though, that's a big position. That's a big position. Even for a big, I mean, if you're a ginormous institution, maybe not that big a deal, but that's still a big position. 1 billion, good call, Uber. 1 billion's a lot. But the real reason you would close to Fox, but then Fox added. What did Fox just say? Once the money is out the door, and they go, but oh, that's no. They said something else. I thought I saw something. Oh, the fundamental reason. Like because what happens at 15 Uber, like at 15, it might just the shorts must be like, all right, well now it's at 15, it's a better opportunity short, just like you have value investors on the other side of certain stocks, and they're like, this is a better opportunity to buy. Why not? Why would they close their position instead of add to their position? And that I think that's what Fox is getting at. They need to think that, oh shit, the likelihood of it going to zero is way smaller than we were expecting. And for them to change that, you need real news, I think. You need, like you mentioned, Q4. It could be Q4 performance, but even still, I'm not even sure that's enough, is it? I don't even know. Because it's like they're the Q4, they're like, hey, yeah, they'll generate some free cash flows, but Q4 isn't going to necessarily change their thesis. They're short this outsized short thesis, right? I mean, if we're a big enough Q4, maybe, but have to be big. Have to be real big, but otherwise they need like this is why Ryan Cohen's big, because I think Ryan Cohen can help change that perception of what that upside might be. Maybe a combination of Q4 and Q1. It could just take time. You know what I mean? I think people think it's going to happen overnight. Not you, Uber, but I just mean when people talk about short squeeze and stuff. And like this could be a gradual, unwind of the shorts. In which case, no big deal. You know what I mean? That's when I say getting out of the short positions, I mean in an orderly fashion. Like that shit. If it just takes time, no big deal. Unless they're surprised, they're shocked, and they're like, oh, a sudden thing, and all right, I lost. In this market, people are desperate for good shorts to hedge. Yeah. 1 billion short may not mean that much. Yeah. If they do a special dividend pops, I think it emboldens the shorts, right? There'll be a short-term pop, though. I think almost certainly there'd be a short-term pop, right? And I think Fox agrees with that. maybe even a little bit. It could be a little bit of a squeeze. I would think that if you announce like let's say a $3 dividend, like that stock is popping, and shorts might close. But indeed, then after it gets up there, then they might add to their short position. I agree with that. The vibe I got is the buyback authorization isn't being used until they pay off the 321, get through the holidays, and perhaps even address the 323 maturity, but clearly could change with the change of control or other. Yeah, I agree. So that's why my base case isn't the buybacks, because if you read anything, so I'm glad Uber you shared that, because if you read anything from them, as I know you have, but any of their presentations or the transcripts from the conference, like everything suggests that's what's front of mind for them. The debt, getting through the holidays, making sure they have enough cash to do that. Like it's kind of wishful thinking to think that the buybacks are likely. I'd say that, like I mentioned, the odds of it have gone up a little bit in my mind past couple of weeks just because there's just that crazy volume, but still not my base case because of this stuff. I try to stick to the facts, what we know, and my analysis of volume ain't shit. But I know that. But my take on their sentiment and some of the shit they share during the conference calls, I feel good about that they're like kind of nah on the buybacks. They're like nah. That doesn't mean they couldn't always surprise us. I've been surprised by stuff. It absolutely could happen, but I don't base my analysis on surprises. Fox, cash on balance sheet at this point equals lower bankruptcy risk. Right, of course. Keeps the wolves away. I'll be shocked if they do a buyback even post fourth quarter. Well, post fourth quarter is a long time. What do you mean post fourth quarter? I mean, they got years to do a post fourth quarter. Do you mean like Q1 or something? I think they probably do, but that's the thing. Yeah, if they do, if right, the issue you run into with buybacks is if you didn't do it already, which we know they didn't, and then you don't do it over the next couple months. What if the stock price continues to rise and it's at 15, 20? Then you get priced out. You get priced out of doing it, where it's almost like, geez, is it worth it to do it at this point? It may not be. It may not be. The cash may be better used for other things. So that's what happens. So I mean, I don't know if that's what Fox is saying, but that's why I was saying a couple streams ago, it's going to be less impactful as the price continues to rise. Like if they did it in July and August, then it's like, whoa. If they announced it on that Q2 conference calls, it would have been, whoa, they did it. But now I still think I lean toward if they did do it, it probably would be worth it. But if the price keeps rising and then we're in fourth quarter in Q1 next year, and let's say it's at 15, let's say it's at 20, do they still do it? Maybe they don't end up doing it. So it's a good point. No buybacks until there's line of sight on top line stabilization. Right. So that could be the case, Fox. And that's why I think it was from a shareholder perspective. I'm glad that they did what they did in Q3 last year. At least we got that. We got the Dutch auction last year, and then we got Q3, and maybe they were taking care of that before they were trying to do the bond exchange. And so as someone long the stock or long the company, you know what I mean? I'm glad that they at least did anything, because I was kind of pessimistic about it last year, and so I'm like, at least they did it last year. But anything at this point was be incremental. But so that was like, even to like your point, Fox says no buybacks until there's line of sight on to top line stabilization. That's not for a year at least. But Fox, they did the buybacks last year, and there was no, there was no line of sight on top line stabilization. So what changed? Is it the pandemic that they had to actually close their doors? Something must have changed in the past 12 months. Yeah, same. I indirectly think I was getting to that point too. You know what I mean? Why'd they do the buybacks last year? They didn't have line of sight on this shit. Manchild. Hey, cheers, Manchild. Our cigar connoisseur. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Ain't being used before they... Okay. Oh, even if Q4 is great, I don't think they'll say, wow, amazing, we're all good now, let's do a buyback. Thank you all for the info. You complete me. There are management teams that do that. This isn't it. Yeah, I agree. I haven't gotten that take from management teams. Nope, from this management team. But that said, my point, my question still stands. They did the buybacks last year. They did the buybacks last year. How do you justify those buybacks? How in your mind did they do that? Your Uber says, Fox read about that. It's like walking on eggshells with their tactical capital allocation. Oh, my same question to Uber. Same question. Yeah, worked at FP&A before. The first rule to a well-run biz is to survive. Okay. But presently their prudence has proven prescient. Cash ensures that. As long as they have the cash, they have optionality. Right, cash is optionality, which is huge for a company like this. I got an enthusiastic response from Mr. Sony when I asked him about the quality of the remaining inventory in the books. Oh, yeah, Uber, I knew you were going to ask that. That's good. You said you were going to ask that. That's good that you got... we were kind of thinking that was higher quality. Good. At $3, they should have done the buyback, in debt buyback. Slam dunk. But that's the problem with companies. They move slowly. Right. Just one of those tea leaf things, having heard his tone of voice and the way he spoke throughout the convo. Talk about the quality of the inventory. We're clearly not starving ourselves of sales. We're clearly not starving ourselves of sales. This is part of the cleanup of the balance sheet, especially collectibles. Yeah, okay. Bring in only high quality in pre-owned. The 475 million inventory is good, but those new consoles, it's really hard to get exiting generation consoles at the end of 2Q. Yeah. So inventory will certainly be going up somewhat. We know the generous offers for Gen 8 content to lock in pre-sales pre-owned. I think we're going to be really impressed by how hard they flex. Ah, sick. Okay. Last year buyback was one forced by activists. It was a huge mistake. All right. How was it? I mean, forced? Like, were they feeling that they feeling the pressure? The activist. It's not like they had control or anything like that. Maybe they were just too loud, and management team was trying to quell the activists. Why did they? Obviously, the last thought is mine. Prior to were EC. Yep. Oh, okay. We know the generous offers for Jenny content to lock in. I think we're going to be really impressed by how hard they flex. But the turns we've heard throughout by Bill, so I hope we get that 5 times turns. Yep. Last management team that did the buybacks. No. Oh, the last management team that did the buybacks are gone. 600 million, 3 billion revenue would be nice. Uber, that'd be sick. You talk about Q4. You talk about EBITDA, 600 million EBITDA. Dude, 3 billion in revenues, that'd be sick. They ran out of ideas. They ran out of ideas for saving the stock, so did a buyback under duress. I don't understand. They ran out of ideas for saving the stock. They've been talking about the same damn... Are you talking about the last management team, Fox? Are you talking about this management team? You talking about 2019 buybacks? So did a buyback under duress. Yes, the Dutch auction, so if Uber's saying the Dutch auction was to let the dividend holders escape. That was stupid, right? I mean, the Dutch auction was ridiculous. That's one of my top criticisms of this man. It still doesn't make any sense. So, and I agree with you, Fox. It was a mistake. What else did they have? I don't know. What else should they have done with the cash? Don't mess with the balance sheet for the sake of shareholders who are going to leave. First spring model, invest for growth, optionality, refi with debt on balance sheet. All right, I didn't really get an answer to my question, which is fine. Like a lot of the stuff you were saying about why they won't do buybacks, they might not even do buybacks post Q4. This management team did buybacks last year, and your reason is because they were pressured by activists and they didn't know what else to do, so they did it under duress. Whereas these 4 pillars of this GameStop reboot plan have been in motion this whole time. And they have their own vision. Whether or not it's the right vision, forget it. But it's weird that the balance sheet would be in a stronger position or would be this closer to the consoles. Well, I definitely agree with that. Well, okay. A buyback is basically a transfer of shareholder value from one set of investors to another. It's a temporal allocation. Yeah. I guess high management turnover didn't help. They didn't help with the continuity or long-term vision. I agree with that, Fuchs. That high management turnover was when you see the GameStop stock over the past number of years selling off like that, I mean, management turnover is a big part of that reason, right? In the lack of vision. Oh, it's just a mess. This isn't the same management team. Yo, Foxed, you're kidding me. Foxed. Q3 of last year was Bell. Fox. No, that's wrong. Fox. I literally have a quote from Jim Bell that I posted to Twitter. Where is it? Right here. Yo, check this, Fox. This was from the Q3 conference call from Jim Bell, CFO, who was added to the team in June. Now, I included the Dutch auction in this figure, 36%, but this was after they had just bought back 22 million shares in September and October, a little bit in November, and Jim Bell came out saying this quote. Simply speaking, I think it's a view, blah, 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 blah. You can see it there, but that's this management team. That's Jim Bell. There were additional buybacks way back in the day. I know about those. Those are garbage. I'm not... Yo, Fox, I get they're not instantaneous. You're telling me that the buybacks of September, October, November, where George Sherman had been at the helm for 6 months? Didn't George Sherman join earlier that year, and then Jim Bell was a little bit later, so he had been there at about 4 months at that time. You had months to run through the board. We have months, Fox. I'm kind of shocked that you're saying the buybacks of Q3 of last year, were the impetus was the prior management team. That's what you're saying? Oh, I strongly disagree with that. And I concede that I think you have more experience on this front than me, but enough time has passed that Jim Bell in particular had a say in these buybacks. These buybacks right here. I'm talking about the Q3 ones last year. Now the Dutch auction. All right, it's a little bit messier on that one. Sherman had only been there a couple months. Jim Bell was literally joining the team around that time. So that one's a little bit, also explains why it sucked, right? It seems like a lot of us are on the same page. Like, what the hell were they doing? Uber saying how it's kind of letting the dividend holders kind of off the hook there a bit. But the big, gigantic one that even caught me by surprise was this management team. And that's why I'm kind of surprised by some of the stuff here, because a lot of the points that you're saying, which I agree with, like their current mindset right now, but this mindset would have been even more important last year when there was a full year. There was a full year before these consoles kicked out. There was a tremendous amount of uncertainty last year. That was the time not to do the buybacks. You know what I mean? That was the time not to do it. And they did it. And that's what had always surprised me. And it has always been a little bit of a confusing thing for me, because this is the one thing that didn't really jive with my analysis of the management team. Like, I think a lot of, I agree with everything you're saying here, Fox, with their focus is, and Uber has said this as well, and management team has said this. Okay. All right. Okay. I think you're conflating some of the buybacks. That this particular aspect had always stood out to me because it doesn't really align with all their other actions, all their other sentiment. And even I was surprised. I was like, whoa, 22 million. And because of this is why, even though the buybacks right now aren't my base case, they did this last year. They took me by surprise, and they could absolutely take me by surprise again. And the excessive volume in September, and then and now the stronger balance sheet with close of the consoles, it increased my probabilities a little bit. But at the same time, I still agree with everything that you're saying here. But because they did it, and because they did it last year too, I've been thinking, and now the bond exchange was behind them. And so I'm kind of like, maybe, but I still don't think it's the likely outcome, primarily because of everything that you had just said. But shit like this, when I get caught by, and this was part of this kind of, this supported my bullish thesis a little bit. I mean, I was already long GameStop, but the management, like I talked about how the importance of buybacks when I was first looking into the stock in June of last year. Like, I'm like, oh, you got to do the buybacks, and and then there was a lot of, even more uncertainty back then, but and I needed to see how they're going to do blah 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 blah. But and then I was like, all right, I felt as though the management team was aligned with shareholders in the way that Burry had been talking about and Hesty and Perman had been talking about. But up to that point, I wasn't convinced. The Dutch auction really disappointed me, because I was like, what the hell? And then they hadn't proved themselves about turning around the business. It had only been a couple of quarters. They hadn't proved themselves to me. I needed to see more. And so this was like September, October. I'm like, all right, let's see what they do here. But so I give them props for this. And so now I agree with everything you're saying, Fox. And so that's where I'm like, well, I'm at least glad they did it last year, because they ate up 36% of those shares. A third of the shares gone. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, if they succeed, if they pull it off, tremendous upside, Maybe they still don't, but I remember thinking tremendous upside because they did do that, and I was pleased as someone long. Okay. First buyback, think we're agreed. Second buyback, activists on board, 4-month-old CFO. And since then, The activists weren't on the board. The activists weren't on the board before this buyback. What activists, Fox? The activists just got added to the board. Am I reading this right? First buyback. Okay, for the Dutch auction, we're in the same. Well, it sounds like in the Dutch auction, we're kind of that shit was weird. We're kind of in the same. Yeah, Sherman is just there, and Bell was just joining, so they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And remember Fox. Oh yeah, let me bring it up right. I keep on saying I'm gonna do it, and I don't do it. Check this. You want to see a confused management team? Here you go. Let me support your case right here, Fox. Check this shit. This shit is it would have been Q1. Watch this. Look at this. George Sherman. As I mentioned in my commentary, we're not announcing any buybacks at this time. You want a confused management team, Fox? There you go. So we're on the same page with this. This shit was ridiculous. This was June 4th. I keep on saying I was going to look it up, but I never did. June 4th, they come on the conference call, and I saw this, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You're not announcing any buybacks. You got to announce the buybacks. You know what I mean? You're still 18 months out from the consoles. You have a whole bunch of cash here. You got to at least get the authorization. You got to get the authorization and potentially do it. And that, so I was like, I mean, I wasn't heavily involved at that time. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be. So, and then it was like 3 days later, Fox. I don't have the. It was like within the week they announced the Dutch auction, and that supports your case of like a confused. This shit takes time. Well, that actually one point that would disagree with you, Fox, where you said this stuff takes time. Here you go. They changed their mind in a week. As I mentioned, we're not announcing any buybacks, and within a couple of weeks, and within 6 weeks, they had completed the Dutch auction. So sometimes I suppose they can move quickly when there's some people kind of egging them on. I don't know what happened there, Fox. But even still, it was clearly a management team who didn't have who weren't fully prepared for the wrath of investors and analysts. And I think the stock price had sold off like 40% that day, something crazy. And then so that was it. And then they did this. Then you said the activists on the board, but the activists weren't on the board till this year. So there were no activists. They were activists. There were letters from Bari in August. This was June. Then August, the letters from Bari. I think he wrote a couple letters in August. And then Hestia and Permit were very loud at the time. And then they did the buybacks. And then Hestia and Permit, then they made the move for the board. And then new board members besides them. And then Z on the buyback front. Since then, nothing. Or is there small purchases? Is that a good, folks? Is that a good timeline? I don't know. All right, talking Q4 again. Okay. Please don't buy back shares. Get the top line right, and share price will take care of itself. That's true. Yeah, Zongwei. Cheers, Zongwei. Cheers. That's what these folks here are talking about. Is that fundamentals focus? What would 4Q take for the bear thesis to be broken to the point of material covering? Great print, great guidance, and buyback. I'd agree with that, except I don't think you're going to get it. So Uber asks, what would Q4 take for the bear thesis to be broken to the point of material covering? And Fox says, a great print, great guidance, and buyback. I'm not sure you get all that. Interesting. Oh, no, Fox is just, Fox is just saying that I appreciate you sharing. I think if you get all great print equals a, oh, yeah. Well, the print. What's the print? It could be revenue. It could be. I like the general use of print there. I mean, it could be revenues. It could be earnings. It could be free cash flow. It could be a combination thereof. At least for me personally. Oh, Fox. Yeah, no. I figured you'd agree. You won't get it, but I still like you sharing your thought there. If there's incremental stimulus, it would be more realistic. So I'm less sure about the material covering, but I do go into I don't know what the stock price is going to be at come. Are you talking Q4? Yeah, I mean you could get the seasonal the holiday readout in early January. You could get that. You might get a beat on that. You know what I mean? So they won't have all the numbers, but you'll have that beat. But then you're talking Q4, so that could be late March, early April. Market sometimes sniffs this stuff out too. And then top at 10 to 20%. You can estimate for consensus as we get closer to print. Also depends. Right, I agree. It depends on the stock price. I would say this. This is what I was getting at. If the stock price is where it is right now, even Q3, I'm bullish. Like I think we're entering rose-colored glasses. I think we're entering rose-colored glasses where it doesn't matter. And I said that about Q2, and it looked like I was wrong, but a week later it was up. So I had the very short term wrong. But the take that rose-colored glasses seem to have come to fruition this time around doesn't always work. But I think it's going to be the same case with Q3, assuming we're in the same current market cap, because I think it remains undervalued. And then, but for like material covering, to Uber's point, that's more difficult. You know what I mean? That you need a lot for that. So I kind of agree with Fox. You kind of need all that shit in conjunction, and that's a little bit more difficult to predict. But you definitely need a combination or some crazy news, right? Quarterly results aside, it could also happen in. It could happen in boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Like they do. Which I know you all know that, but I've just been thinking through, like, there could be an announcement, an interim announcement before Q3 earnings. Then there's the consoles and stuff in front of mine and everything like that. And then there's an announcement about what Cohen exactly is doing. He's talking about it. Then there's Q3, and it doesn't even matter what they say because now the consoles are out and everyone's bullish about it. And they just say, oh, they're not going bankrupt, boom, and it takes off. And then holiday readout, early January, boom, and then Q4, boom. That it seems almost more likely that it could be incremental. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm thinking. In that, and if anything can be announced and it happens overnight, then there you go. Yeah, so I agree with. And Uber, I know you are. So I know you are, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm in the same camp as you. Where we have our long-term thesis, right? But this is a fun and worthwhile discussion. Just that's something that at least we're taking seriously, but it doesn't appear though as though the shorts are. Is that like, yo, couldn't this or that trigger this? And certainly there's a 20% chance of this, right? Or a 10%? Like y'all saying that it's 0%, and that needs to be factored into our model. So I'm with you on that. But if no news of Ryan Cohen come earnings, will probably be negative. I've been thinking about that. I would think one would think that you'd have more news on that, right? Would you have more news? Someone was asking that. I mean, you might not, right? But you would think that now, I mean, he's an activist investor. So I would, because it's a 13D, 10% stake, I think that we would have news. I would hope, but indeed, to your point, if you don't, what the hell's going on? So I think so I'm just thinking about the different news things that could be released, and then I kind of agree with Fox and Uber that that could be like it needs to be a fundamental. The shorts fundamental views need to change quite a bit, and one way you can do that, and then like I've been thinking like clearly Ryan Cohen, they upped their short, they viewed the Ryan Cohen addition and involvement as an opportunity to short more, which is kind of interesting. Whereas I and many of us maybe have increased the probability of a turnaround or transformation rather, whatever. And so even his announcement of his involvement, but indeed, if they beat the guidance is what's big. I think in the buybacks, like I said, not base case, but the guidance could be big. I don't know if they'll provide. Maybe they'll provide it. They've been maybe good holiday results, and then they announce a beat. Yeah, I mean, it's conceivable. It's conceivable that they announce Q4 earnings that are, you know what I mean, like a couple of bucks per share. Am I crazy in thinking that? And then what do you do at a stock price of $9 in 1 quarter? Hey, does anyone have any Q4 earnings per share forecast? I'd love to hear that. Like, can you imagine? All right, talking the Chewy comps. Yep. The digital mix shift is fleeting to an extent, so you can digitize books. Blah blah blah. Ebooks are superior. Yep. But there's still more that needs to be done. There's a cap. It's not 100%. If you're a niche player, you can survive, maybe even thrive. Yeah, that's what GameStop has potential for. E-commerce has a huge runway, but it's not 100% of the retail sales big. Yep. If you're once the incumbent, that's a problem. GameStop is both. Yes, it has potential to be both. That's right. I agree. That's why the opportunity is there, and that it's a mistake. Hence, it's interesting, right? I agree with you, Fox. That the market is pricing in, is failing to price in this opportunity that Fox is describing. And execution is key. It all comes down to execution, right? But even still, execution is key. I agree with you, Fox. But I would, like, a big part of my thesis is that the market has failed to price in this opportunity. And even though I concede that they may fail to execute, execution is still key at the end of the day. But there's a mispricing in the market because of that, a mispricing of the opportunity. And to succeed in a big way, you need execution. But you don't even need execution to, you know what I mean? Like, to succeed in a huge way, you do. But with material market mispricings, you really only need you really only need it to be closed, which doesn't warrant complete full execution. Hell, it's already doubled. You know what I mean? And just as part of my point, the stock's already, hell, at one point it had almost tripled from the, well, it has tripled from the lows, but forget that 1 week. But that's the beauty of deep value. You know what I mean? Like, so with some of these like high flying stocks, like compounders and growth stocks, execution is execution is even more so key. That's what I'd say, because they're, as they say, priced for perfection, blah, blah, blah. GameStop wasn't even priced for existence. It wasn't even priced for existence looking out 12 months. Like, it was kind of absurd. Not only will they likely exist and not go bankrupt, and maybe even generate quite a bit of free cash flows in those early quarters of the console cycle, but they have the opportunity to kick ass down the line. And the market, I believe the market made a mistake there. But in general, I agree with you. The jury's still out. And the jury's still out. Uber, they do have the optionality to do it. I think they've reinvigorated the board. The mere fact that a person like Ryan Cohen became involved in the quality they brought in does great credibility. I agree with you. There's a future. I agree with you, Uber. This is why that stuff was important. It wasn't the full thesis, but I agree with you. When you're dealing with deep value stocks, this incremental information at the margin can be rather meaningful, because if the terminal value goes from 0 to quite a bit higher, it's a game changer for the weighted average probabilities. You know what I mean? So Uber, I very much agree with you. That's why bears have a rational case. There's a rational short thesis there. There's a rational bear thesis. It's just the level of conviction that they have, I find, is overdone. Fox, maybe you agree with that. Maybe you don't. Fox, I want to catch up 5 years from now. 2025, Ron Kitty recap. Yo, yeah, let's put it on the calendar right now. Let's do that shit. If Ryan Cohen gets more involved, that's the $1 billion question. If they let Ryan Cohen get involved. Oh, I don't know if I agree. That's the $1 billion question. I don't know about that. Remember, and I know Fox keeps poking fun, but there was a thesis before Ryan Cohen. As long as they are open to listening to Ryan Cohen, then it's a bullish sign for me. I agree with that Manchild. I agree. Manchild said, hey, even if they're being open to, and based on what Uber shared, like it kind of sounds like they are. You know what I mean? It kind of sounds like they have been, and there's reason to believe it will continue. So that's good news. Uber agrees. All right, cheers, Uber. We all agree on the execution rules. Okay, 666. If they meet Ryan Cohen on his terms, stocking tennis rackets is key. Son of a... Decision trees all the way. I know, Fox is all about those decision trees. Those binomial models. I'm typing, reading, listening to getting my log and debating the other ear. Uber, you're doing all this shit tonight. Okay, I can't do maths too. Yeah, you gotta give a pass on that. Of those, one activity is okay. I went through Reggie's Twitter today, and man, I had no idea. He's hugely popular. Manchild talking about how popular Reggie is, like crazy popular. He was a great addition to the team. I felt, for reasons Uber just laid out above. I like that proposal of spinning off online and let Ryan Cohen run that and let physical stores wind down. But they should build a few super centers. I would travel, just go to shop there. Yeah. I like this. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's I haven't heard much about spinning anything off. But in theory, that's one of those opportunities. There's plenty of opportunities to go with this. That's a unique one. In the super centers, some big stores. Yeah, I would probably travel there just to shop there too. Yeah, it's hard, but it's hard to break up a company that way, indeed. The corporate politics is vicious. Yes. Okay. I didn't think you disagreed, Fox. I didn't think you disagreed that there was a fundamental thesis, but you, I know you were joking. There's a pathway to X Ryan Cohen as well, right? I do think it helps the thesis stuff, but future looks a lot brighter with Ryan Cohen, right? Depends on terms and structure. NTNX. Now I'm just kind of curious. I can look into that. It don't look that good. Uh-oh. Right, thanks, Fox. I'll look into that. August 20th. Oh, it was this deal. Boom. Wow, stock popped 50%. Couple of days. And I bet the short interest was much lower. Interesting. Man, child, love going into Micro Center just to get gifts for people. Yep. What a crazy value unlock if they could do something innovative. Yeah, these are smart and people who they know. You know what? I agree with you, Uber. It has helped increase the probabilities, even if they're not above 50%. But these additions, these are not dumb people, and that's not to say that the management team has done everything right. But then you got the board and Ryan Cohen, it's so good that the big thing for, I've said this a number of times, so Uber, I know you've heard it a ton, but Ryan Cohen getting involved kind of substantiated the potential for the turnaround, right? Substantiated the opportunity that's there, because I've long said, I may have even said in my GameStop videos where my confidence in that was significantly lower than what I was forecasting on a couple of years on the free cash flow front, and so Ryan Cohen stepped in, I'm like, oh yes. But then, plus the addition of the board members and stuff, like you said. So I agree. These people, they see the opportunity here, and I kind of like what has transpired over the past 18 months, and that I feel as though we're not quite there where it's in our favor, but I feel like they're putting the pieces together to make this thing work. I agree with you. Looking out 5, you see, this is an easier discussion, Uber, right? That's why Uber says this. Uber's like, yo, let's fast forward 5 years, okay? Let's fast forward 5 years. Think about where we'll be. I agree with that. You know what I mean? The 6 months and 12 months, it's kind of tough, but go 5 years. This could be a major opportunity. It's still not to say it's going to happen, but you can. The pieces are there. The pieces are there that if executed properly, blah blah blah, that there could be tremendous upside. Initial positive reaction. Okay, you're talking about that opportunity. Initial positive reaction. Then people did the math and realized the reallocation of future value. Oh, like you were talking about, because you're reallocating the future value to a different set of investors. I get that, Fox. Right. It depends on if there were a deal. So in Fox, I just saw this. If he has a simple task, it's great, which he might. We don't know. But I appreciate Fox saying hey, maybe it's something. What the hell did I do with it? These certain circumstances. Fox is saying, hey, if these certain circumstances are basic and straightforward, great. That could be great for all parties involved. You know what I mean? Especially OPMI. But if not, well, then would you say, Fox? Better to assume that Ryan Cohen is a savvy entrepreneur who realizes his own value add and will charge accordingly. Indeed, true. Speaking to their intelligence and their motivations and so forth, it maybe he wants to get paid. True. Now, in theory, he could get paid just for being an interested shareholder because he owns 10% of the company. But what Fox is saying is, what if he wants more than that? What if he does want more than that, which is a distinct possibility? Right now, from all the shareholders so far, and I know Ryan Cohen is different, but it has just been they want their damn investment to work out. I'm speaking, of course, to Barry and Hesty on Permit. But like Fox is saying, I mean, this guy's a billionaire, and if he's maybe he might try to squeeze, squeeze, that kind of has a negative connotation, but just tries to get more out of it. We don't know. We just don't know. He hasn't talked about it. I will say, Fox, and you might agree with this, that this language is friendly for me. That like it could have been way more like savvy entrepreneur who realized his own value add. I'm sure he does, but like it doesn't mean I just mean there's, at least in my mind, a possibility of some simple asks here. Hey, I'm willing to get more involved under certain circumstances, as opposed to, yo, I'm gonna get more involved, you better do this and that, blah blah blah. Which I know you know that, Fox, but for me, it increases the probability that there is maybe a simple ask or something that's less, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that that's the case, but it increases the chances of it, this unusual language for me. Uber saying, yeah, give me a $1 billion e-commerce business with 30% gross margin. What's that worth in today's world? Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, seriously. That's what I mean. If people's perspective, if their perception changes on this and they view it as a growth stock, that takes time. Like, I've said that, but boy, if they do, yeah, I agree with you, but forget about it. Then that's the short thesis is dead. That's when the short thesis altogether is dead. When people start perceiving it that way, but unfortunately, I don't think we're close to that just yet. But indeed. But if that happens, then it supports. It just supports a much higher market cap. It does, but that shit takes time. Then the question is, who gets what? I agree. That's the bullish bit of GME. Right. A tale of two companies. Right. That's right. That's why I tried to break that down in that video, Fox. I tried to break it down that way. There's two sides to the thesis, and everyone's focused on the legacy business. Well, I don't want to say everyone, but it certainly felt like that, doesn't it? That's all anyone would talk about. Read all those articles over the past 12 months. Show me one, short of Scott Preston's, that talks about that potential. What you got, what Uber and what y'all talk about now in Fuchs, and Manchild here too. I mean, like, what y'all saying? Like, people just haven't been talking about this. So it's a tale of two companies that no one's really been talking about the other part, and that was part of their mistake. Oh, there they go. Okay. The part that I struggle with reconcile most, other than that. Yes, I agree, Uber. Why would he sell? Seems like a bad overlook. Okay, so we were saying the part that I struggle with reconcile most, other than that which I struggle with, that Ryan Cohen's vision doesn't strike me as that different from what management has been doing since. He's been an investor. I agree with you, Uber. Like, it's not like we don't know what his vision is yet. This is the one part, and maybe I increasingly feel alone in this. Everyone's running with the Bloomberg article. I know. It's understandable. But let's assume for the sake of the discussion, I don't know if you do, Uber, so I don't want to presume that. He's accumulated up over 18 months. Why would he sell? Seems like a bad look to just. I agree with you. We've talked about this a couple times. I don't think that he would sell. I think it's unlikely, even though, Fox is saying, hey, it's something you need to consider. But I don't think it's likely for some of the reasons you lay out here. And the underlying business will continue recovering before he money's out. That's right. That's the thing, is that even the legacy business, I think the market cap right now is trading below even what the legacy business is worth. And I think Ryan Cohen, but I feel like we all know. I'm talking to folks who I know y'all know. Individuals matter. Having the right team matters. We're in a world where Google obsesses over font size and color because every little bit of UX matters. Yeah. Folks, you'd be surprised how much a good leader can change morale. Yeah. So he's a nice addition to the team, right, folks? Ah, shit. Okay, I don't think Ryan Cohen is hostile. Okay, we're on the same page there, Fox. I'd say C point above, but it's retired now. I think I saw it. Going hostile for Ryan Cohen has repercussions in VC world. Right. VC angel world. I think you may have said that before too, Fox. I gotta check the archives. Just doesn't make sense. Right. Yeah, okay, we're kind of all on the same page. I think most of us agree that he's not intending to sell. It's more about like what are his intentions on the upside. Oh, who's this? Sapote. Cheers, Sapote. Ryan said a few years ago, retirement was boring. I think he wants to run GameStop. Run GameStop. All right, okay. Some folks have said that. Some folks have even said CEO. Maybe. I don't agree with that, but yeah, some folks have. A lot of folks have been talking about that. Oh, Uber. I didn't realize you were talking to him before sick. Maybe he's willing to share more with her. Okay. Oh, Uber, thank you so much. Cheers once again. You're the man. I don't think it's contrary to Ryan Cohen selling. Plus, Ryan Cohen wouldn't share his strategy with the company. Well, it depends. Maybe his total strategy, but it sounds like he's been in touch. I know, Uber, Mitchell says, Uber, you're making me real happy this evening. I know, cheers, Uber, I know, right? I know, we have a good analysis shared. I'll be happy as the market wouldn't have crushed all the short-term options I bought, but I guess, yeah, the short-term, that's what I mean. Those short-term options look rich. They look rich. That's why it's tough to play. It's tough to play the short-term stuff. It is. I mean, RKT and GME this week. It's all risk where I know. Yeah. Uber. I mean, Uber. You know it as well as anybody here. That's for damn sure. Even still, you never know. At any time, some news could come out, and then that shit would happen overnight. And of course, the short-term ones are which would be the most profitable, right? No doubt about. I mean, the weeklies and shit. Those go parabolic overnight. Yeah. That makes sense, Uber. Yeah, then that's all you do. And then it seemed like you're chill with it. You knew the probabilities. I know what it is, and you also knew I know you weighted what the upside would be if it worked out. Even if it's only a 20%, 10% chance, 5% chance, those things would be up. Still up. Yeah, of course. I'm sure that's only a portion. Yeah, I think you've shared that. It's only a portion of it. But that's how some of these options plays work, where some will just with some option strategies, some will just expire worthless, right? I know you know this. I'm just talking broadly, but the other ones are the big winners, and that's how some strategies work. Weekly, like the shorter term strategies, I don't have much insight into the very. Not that you're trying to do that, but I mean, there's some folks who are doing I don't know. The very short term stuff is above me. But indeed, if something were to happen, I mean, if you ever had like we talked about the VW stuff too. If that should ever happen, just forget about it. Just the odds seem slim. You guys have any information on the stores going from 1 to 1.5? What is 1.5? I don't even know what the hell that means, man. Going from 1 to 1.5. Where'd you see that? Man, child, where'd you see that? 1 to 1.5? They like instead of 2.0, instead of stores 2.0, they didn't say this, did they? You need to understand Greeks at their most basic. Just know delta, theta, gamma. Well, that's the thing. So I mean, I don't even know that you need to know that. Like I deal in options, but I don't even know the Greeks. Like I know I know what they represent, but I'm not sure. Well, that's the thing. There's so many different option strategies out there for that short. I think what Uber's saying is like if you're dealing in the short term type stuff, you need to have a firm grasp of how these are all interwoven. I get that part, and maybe that's part of the reason I don't do that very short term stuff. But like I mentioned, I forget when I mentioned it. Maybe on a video where it's kind of like a bolt on to a fundamental thesis for me. But indeed, I know everyone's always talking about those Greeks, and I'm like, but that stuff's important, right? I mean, that's how these options get priced. Oh, the employees are talking about their stores. Yeah. Understand what they mean and understand what you're paying for. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. You need to understand. So yeah, you need to understand what you're paying for, and I love selling the options. I know. Yeah. Selling options is a great strategy. That not a recommendation for anyone on the stream, of course, right? It always depends on your personal circumstances, but it strikes me as a good strategy for certain stocks, especially. It seems like it would have been good for GameStop. I want to do that more. I want to do more of the option selling, and I've done some, but It's because dealing with so many stocks, it's like it's helpful for when you're really dialed into a stock. All right, did I miss some shit? But only tracking so many. Oh yeah, Manchild, did you clarify that? The employees are talking about their stores. They need to prep for 1.5 this Sunday. Oh shit, I don't know what that is. Anyone here long on GameStop? Sapote, yeah, I think a lot of folks might be. I think a lot of folks on the stream might be long GameStop. No, we're all shorts. Yeah. Sapote, I've been the live stream. We analyze other stocks besides GameStop, but GameStop's been a focus, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnails. I think a lot of folks might be on the stream. Not a recommendation, Sapote. Not a recommendation, right? It might not be a suitable investment for you. That sounds great. I agree. So Uber, I agree with you. Great. It's a great cash generation exercise. That's part of the reason that I haven't focused on too much, because I see the value in it as cash generation, which in cash generation itself is not. There's not tremendous upside to that, right? But in the context of a portfolio, it's obviously a tremendous opportunity that it's almost like a must do for, not for everyone, right? But for sophisticated investors, like that's how you got to do that. You got to. It's an important aspect of the cash management side of the portfolio, and that's why it's kind of silly that I don't do it more. It's just because right now I've been focused on returns. Yeah. No, Hugo Joel. Hugo always going to chime in with that. GME puts before I bought GME calls. Oh, sick, Uber. Interesting. You sold GME puts before you bought GME calls. Sick. Oh yeah, I think you need to have the right level of options for. You need the right level of options, and again, options aren't for everybody. It tends to be for more sophisticated investors. It's very high risk play, and that's why they often have you. They require you to. You gotta level up to get to it. Certain aspects of it anyway. Oh yeah, Steve says that level up. If you lose enough money with your broker, they'll let you do anything. Right. Ah, shit, that's funny. What's futures doing now? Oh, what are futures doing after the debate? I mean, some people were sharing the. Oh shit, futures up. A little bit. I said 0.5. We're not at 0.5 yet, but interesting. Small cap leading, huh? Shit, huh? It's interesting. Something to keep an eye on, really, in the coming weeks and months. Forget days. It's a badge of honor, like being chased away from a casino. Yeah. Oh, shit. Not into crazy complex options, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they can get highly complex. I like the more basic approach. No. Oh, shit. Is the debate still going on? It must be. I felt like oversharing. All right, good day. This turned into we had a fun stream tonight. Uber, cheers, like a million cheers to Ubers, huh? I wish I had more beers to cheers you, huh? Shit, thank you so much for sharing. Truly. I mean, I appreciate it. I know we it sounds like we all appreciate it. So, cheers from all of us, right? But definitely helping my thing. I got to think about some of this stuff more. I mean, I'm thinking about it on the live stream. I apologize. I got to think about some of this stuff some more. And it's interesting that Justin interpreted some of this stuff the other way. And so I got to think about that. But so far, thesis looks like it's remaining intact. What was the other big thing? Oh, yeah, the vendor partnerships. They said soon, too, huh? I got to scroll back up. What is it, October 7th? We're almost, okay, console's a month away. You would think that they would announce something before the console's coming out, I would think. You probably want to announce something going into the consoles. Okay, so you might get something in soon, near term. I don't know if it's game changer news, but again, at this point, we're getting into rose color. Ah, shit. Okay, that's okay, Uber. Thanks for the heads up. That's fine. I remember enough. It's fine. This is a live concert. Yeah, that's fair. No, that's what we got to do. I understand. This is a live concert. I like that, though. Maybe mosh pit down the line. We ain't there yet. We ain't there yet. Explains the headband. Yeah, right? Oh, shit. Bump them minus all phone kids. The heavy metal kitties. The heavy metal kitties. Hey, stuff like this. I'm taking notes of this shit. So, I have the call of kitty squeeze ups. What was the other one? Heavy metal kitties. I can probably do something with that. Obviously, people watching the video will hear the discussion. Is that okay? Is that okay, Uber? Yeah, let me know. This is stuff to think about moving forward. You know what I mean? Something for us. Yeah, something. What's best practice? You know what I mean? Concerts. I did naked in some cards. Yeah, Hugo. Oh shit. Yeah, the envy. Yeah. That's almost. Oh shit, that's funny. All right. So what is it? Wednesday? So I really for the. I mean, everyone's dialed into GameStop here. So GameStop. We'll see where it ends the week. Right? Is it gonna? If it ends the week 4 weeks in a row above 9, like come on. Like, Uber, you were the one who mentioned. I think Uber said after hours on Friday is when we're going to get the news on the shorts. So that'll be sick. We'll be able to talk about that. Yeah. I think Uber said we're going to get this shit during even during the stream. I don't know. So we'll have the short interest then. No, I think we'll get it before the stream. I think. Okay, Uber. Maybe so. Yeah, I got you. And so if we'll have the short interest, and then let's see where the GameStop price ends. If it ends above 9 for the 4th week in a row, come on. Then we're looking at a monthly chart that's looking quite a bit different. Huh? Above 9? I mean, not quite a bit different, but and right, this isn't calendar monthly. This is just straight 4 weeks. But what's the other thing I was gonna say? Shorts price, and then IWM. I mean, it's only gonna be a couple days by weekend, but I'm kind of curious where it's gonna end the week. You know. He's gonna break out. He's gonna break out on the week. That's kind of like the other thing. I mean, we're running out of things to track. You know what I mean? I guess I'll track the volume, but now it's pretty clear. We're set in. It's pretty clear where we're set. We're set in low volume territory. You know what I mean? Oh, I missed some stuff. Yeah. Oh shit! Did I say that, Uber? Did I just say we get volume on Friday? Oh shit! I could have. We gotta check the archives. Did I say that, Uber? I don't know. My dancing volume. Oh, when do we get volume again? Oh, real volume. I was saying. Oh, I thought you talk about when I talk about the short interest volume. That's a good question. I think so. Legit, Uber. I actually don't think we're gonna get much until news on volume specifically. What other reason? You know what I mean? Unless there's a great pile into like the Russell 2000, there's this big rotation, but that shit takes time, and I don't think that you're going to start seeing a big pile into GME on for a couple of days. RK's volume goes up to 11. Dial it up. Oh, I'm going to use that. I like that, Steve. That's sick. Why both volume and vol? Just vol should do. Well, yeah. I think it might be news. It might be if they said they were going to announce something new, it'll probably be around that, and then that volume could persist for a little bit. But what's fun, I mean, as y'all know, with these stocks, you get 1-2 days of volume. It's up 50%. Like it happened, it's no big deal. And I think, I think I mentioned this on the last. I don't forget when I mentioned this, but like not too long ago, GameStop was at $4, and I remember thinking like $15, $16. That's like a 4-bagger, right? and boom, a couple of weeks, and then we're at $10. We're at $11 in weeks. You know what I mean? And so my point just being, it may do nothing for a little bit on no volume and everything. You assume the volume is bullish. Spinal Kitty. Hey Fox, yes I do, because I'm biased. And if you give me a reason, I'm running out of reasons to think that the volume will be bearish. You're doing your best to let me know of all of them. I know you are. Spinal Kitty is good. All right, thank you, Steve. Spinal Kitty. And maybe I can combine those two, right? Spinal Kitty and get it up to 11. I probably need volume that begets volatility. Right. Oh, right. You talk about vol for the options. Hello Kitty. Oh, how'd I forget that one? And what else I've been thinking about too is well, these are good. I don't think I'm bearish at all. Oh yeah, no, I just meant, but to your point, you say you assume the volume would be you're just saying the volume would be bullish. All right. I know Fox. I'm just saying. I was trying to think of reasons that the volume could be up and the stock would be down on bearish news. Okay, I'm surprised you know that. Well, I know of it. I know like some of the pictures and stuff, but I don't. I think it's a show. I think it's a show, right? I know it's it was super popular. I don't know. Yeah, Hello Kitty is universal. It's a show, right? I know of it. I mean, you see it. You see it. You still see it at stores too. I kind of forget if it was a thing. He has a tattoo. So I don't know about that. I don't know if I can use that one. I don't know if I'm gonna take a note of that one, Fox. I don't think I'll toss that one down. Shit. These are good ones though. Good age, Hello Kitty. Yeah. So I think it's more popular. I think it's more popular elsewhere too. So we're talking about kitty stuff too. But if you think of other things too that have the word game in them. I've been trying to think about that stuff too, like GameStop, but like other like pop culture type things that have game in it. I'd be curious. I've been doing some. Manchild, yeah, you can try to post a link. See if you can post a link. I don't know if we'll go through though. Someone posted it. Hugo figured out what Hugo's got all the trips. He's got all the tips and tricks. This guy's got it figured out. But sometimes they weren't showing up for some people. No, just for potentially having some fun with it. You know what I mean? Having some fun with it. No, Hugo. No, not for that. Not for that. No, I didn't, man-child. You might have to just edit it a little bit. No, not merch. Like for if I post something to Twitter. Yeah, no, that link didn't go through. If you like edit it slightly, just if you add like an extra space or something, you better get that link to Fox quick. You better get that shit to him quick. He's bored right now. Fox was here listening to a monologue earlier. He was almost dialed out. I don't even think dialed out's a phrase. I think I just made that up. It's dialed in. You're not dialed out. What's the opposite of dialed in? If you're not dialed in, you're who the hell knows? You're passed out. No, there you go. Okay. Tune in, drop out. Oh, I see. Oh, so Manchild, that's what you're sharing. Okay, so that's what they're talking about on the subreddit? Okay. Tuned out. Oh, tuned out. Thank you. All right. Tuned in, tuned out, drop out, tuned out. Okay. Tuned out. That's Uber. I think that's what I was thinking of. Okay, so is that so I don't know. Maybe it's sometimes they're trying to rearrange their store and stuff, and I wonder if it's tied to that. They've had to do that in the past. And maybe that's what they've labeled it, is the 1.0 or the 1.5 or whatever it is. Maybe there's going to be a 2.0 down the line, but that's my guess. Is there is that's what that's about? But I'll look into it. Thanks for giving me the heads up. I'll look into that offline. Yeah, I've seen them. I've heard them talking about that stuff before. Oftentimes around the holidays, in big releases and stuff. I mean, this is the biggest release. I've long figured there was going to be a big I mean, what the hell's the word? Not rearrangement of the store, but you know what I mean? Like reorganizing, so laying it out differently and so forth. And I didn't know what the hell it was going to look like, of course, but I figured it was going to come. They probably do it every year before holidays. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's the vendors spending money to invest in their store displays. Tenacious GME, the kitty of destiny. Tenacious GME is pretty good. Wow. We don't hit too many Tenacious D references. Jeez. The kitty of destiny. I can work with these. I'll see what I can put together. I read there that the Xbox was going to have the front and Nintendo in the back in at least one comment. So that kind of aligns with what I was thinking. It does seem like Xbox is at the forefront, and I've always thought Nintendo would be more interested in this type of a thing, but over the years they've kind of seemed like they less prominent in like a GameStop type store than Xbox and Sony. But Xbox is seeming top of mind for me. I know, right? It's interesting. Yeah, there's so many reasons. I agree with you, Manchild. Manchild says it's interesting that if GME is so obsolete, why vendors would spend money on them. There's so many. Why would vendors allocate? Why would vendors allocate inventory to them, especially with a major console? I mean, we didn't know this a couple months ago. That's fair. But and then or spend money on marketing or yeah, so many different things. I agree with you, Manchild. That's all I can come up with right now. But there's other examples. I've thought about it before. It's like, oh, and why did they have? My favorite one was that they had $1 billion in revenues when in the quarter their stores were closed. You have $1 billion in revenues and your stores are closed. You know what I mean? That's not easy for a largely brick and mortar retail. I mean, they had some online sales. I get that, but historically, they get that many revenues in a quarter. You just don't see that often. Oh, come on, Hugo. You know I'm not providing no advice on this channel. No advice. There's no advice. Educational only. Oh, because I misunderstood Hugo. It's getting late. The beer's getting to me. Now I understand. You're talking to Manchild about that. So they're heating. They're listening to the not just Roar Kitty, but the chat, of course. No, I know someone. I don't have any cats. Fox, I don't have any cats. I know. Shit. Are we here to educate you, Roar Kitty? Yes. Yes. You are. You think I'm joking? I'm not. It's important for. I mean, rounding out thinking on stuff too. I mean, maybe you're joking. You're joking. But like it rounded out thinking on certain things, like and pick it up on blind spots and stuff. When I uploaded the GameStop videos, I said that. Like, if I missed anything, let me know. Let me know if I missed anything. And some people have let me know. Yeah. So yeah, no cats. Are we here to educate you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So I appreciate. I'm not joking when I say I appreciate all the feedback all throughout. Man, what would you say? Does he Manchild on your fifth beer? Cheers to Manchild. Cheers. Someday, hopefully, let's we have a big crazy GameStop opportunity. Yo, maybe we'll bring a whole bunch of beers to the stream. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is so weird. Then explain the Roaring Kitty. Oh, that's my name, as Eduardo pointed out. Thank you, Eduardo. That's obviously my name, Fox. It's kind of a weird, like, obviously your name is Fox, but no, explain the Roaring Kitty. I honestly thought it kind of sounded cool. I don't know if y'all agree. I just thought it kind of sounded cool. That's all. I have a whole. Well, if you saw some of the other videos on the channel, there's I picked up some like of the stuffed animal kitties, but now they're my daughter's toys. She plays with them, but that's it. There's no real. Well, no. I don't eat cats. What the hell, Hugo? That ain't true. What are you kidding me, Hugo? Jeez. Roasted or baked? Oh, come on. Harris outperformed. Oh, okay. Pence did well. Harris outperformed. Oh, okay. 60-40 to Harris. Oh, Uber. Cheers to that. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I hadn't heard that. So it sounds like it was an actual debate. Okay. So it was an actual maybe back and forth debate. Okay. Maybe that's why the markets were up. I mean, not much, but they're not down. You know what I mean? Oh, thanks for sharing the Uber. I feel like you just saved me having to... that's all I wanted to know. That's really it. Maybe I'll tune in for some highlights, but I'm just like, hey, who is it leading more in favor of? 64 to Harris. Sick. And that's like his objective. I feel like Uber. That's like that's like the type of take that I would give. I'm like, yeah, there's no clear. Whereas other people, they're sometimes they're biased. They're like, oh, so and so definitely won. I like that type of a take. Like, 60-40 Harris. It was close. It was close. It's just like Batman. He doesn't have bats. Yeah. All right, I like that. I like that, Hugo. Batman, Catman. Well, that's a thing. He doesn't have bats. Yeah, that's true, I guess. Oh, yeah, what is he? He's afraid of bats, right? Is he afraid of bats? I wouldn't say I'm afraid of cats. Anyone have time to read the house stock on Big Tech? No, I didn't see it. Foxed. I need to be more skeptical, yeah. All right. No? All right. Well, yeah, good chat tonight. I guess we'll call it a night tonight. You'll die skepticism, yeah. Wow, we covered a good amount today. This is good. This is great. I mean, largely because of Uber, so thank you, Uber. But Apple event on October 30th. Hey, Jen, any reason we should be dialed into that Apple event? Any reason, any GameStop related reason we'd be dialed into the Apple event? Or are they announcing a new phone or anything anything you're expecting them to announce that maybe a partnership with GameStop? And clearly that's what Jen is hinting at. I'm kidding, Jen. I'm kidding. Oh, okay. Oh, Fox, you know. Okay. Unless you're excited about more phones with more cameras, with more speed. I know. So I got a really old phone for that, right? The Roaring Kitty Picture Show. The Roaring Kitty Picture Show. Oh, Steve Stunk. Sick. Oh, ridiculous. I love it. Oh, thank you, man, child. Cheers. No GME. Okay, thank you, Jim. But iPhone 12, hopefully. All right. Yes, thank you, man, child. Thank you, Uber and and Fox. Yes, this was sick, dude. I'm killing for you. Yeah, I know, Steve. You are. Cheers, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Absolutely. I know some creds for sure. GME can sell new iPhones. No, I know, right? They were big into these iPhones, so they were tangentially related, you know. Just don't build up too many decision trees. Yeah. I think you're... The Roaring Kitty coming to save you. Come protect people from Yats, Hugo. Is that what you say? Oh, shit. Oh, geez. Talk about the grace. Yeah. All right. Well, cheers, everybody. A big thank you. I'm so thirsty with that IV. Yeah. A big thank you to Uber. Seriously. Thank you so much. I mean, I appreciate it. We all appreciate it so much. You sharing the notes that you took. And thank you and thank you to Fox and all these folks, Steve and Cheers and Fuchs. Fox. All the sharing the different types of analysis that we do. Hugo, cheers. Always a good cheers. Jen's still here. Cheers, man child. Peace out, man child. We still got a good amount of folks. For 1040. Sick. Yeah, good vibes all around. Have a happy Wednesday. Have a good rest of your week and everything. And see y'all on Message Attracted, Steve. Yo, Steve, that is funny. Oh shit, that's funny. All right, so cheers, everybody. Have a good week. Oh, let me finish my beer. Message Kitty. Oh damn, this is good jokes tonight. Great jokes tonight. Well, we did good GME research. We did some good jokes tonight. This has been sick. Wednesday. Talk to y'all Friday. Yeah, let's hope maybe we'll, every time maybe we'll have some big news by the end of Simon. Cheers, Simon. Have a nice rest of your week as well. See you Friday. See you. What's up, Simon? What's up? We'll see you then. And then yeah, we should have some new news at the very least. The shorts, weekend price, and just some other all small stuff, right? But who knows? Don't gotta think about this stuff. Peace out, Jen. Peace out. All right. Cheers, everybody. Y'all have a nice night, a peaceful Wednesday evening. And what will we roll with tonight? What should we go with? All right, let's go with this one. Okay. All right. More education for a kitty. Yeah. Cheers to extension. All right. Have a nice night, everybody.